And we're live. It is the first ever Alaboom post the GenCon 2015. I am your host, the disembodied voice, since I do not use the video, so I can keep my bandwidth down. Undead Viking, and we have we have a return to a form here. We have like old school Alaboomers that we haven't seen in quite a while. What is that noise? Who's a Cylon? All right, Rhiannon.
That was my phone.
Yeah, nobody shares, Travis. Be quiet for a moment. Adults are talking. Adults are talking, Travis. Be quiet. Nice to join Rhiannon. Hi. How are you?
Oh, it's a little early to start flicking people off, right? I shouldn't do that just yet. Travis.
Why are you flicking me off? I'm your best friend.
Aldi made it as well, but of course our main man from Estonia, straight via Denmark, Robin Lees.
Hey.
Where you been, man?
I've been travelling Europe, all around Europe, but mainly back in the UK with no internet, so couldn't join in.
Did you say that? Now. Wait, you just post YouTube live stream isn't working?
No, it's just started again, so it's okay. It's
cool. Okay. I was gonna say, what the hell with this? I'm going to bed. But as long as you say it's working, then I will change my mind as far as that is concerned.
Working.
All right. Just as an aside, if you hear Guardians of the Galaxy in the background, I'm sorry, my daughter is hammocking it up this evening, and she's got it on. So,
is that actually a verb?
Hammocking?
It's not even a word.
I don't know.
The
Here.
art of being in a hammock.
Yes.
Obviously.
Let me turn on my camera for a brief moment. Hey, everybody. Hi. And then we will just go over there, and maybe we can see my daughter. No, you can't. No lights. Rylan, turn and look at the camera real quick and wave. All right, so she's busy in the house hammock. Yes, I missed it. Thank you. We own it. We can watch it anytime we want. All right, and so Robin was in Estonia. He had to clear up his visa or something. I have no idea what it was, and he just died. Where did he go? He's gonna sneeze again. Asparagus. Go over there. All right, awesome. All right, so Mr. Collins.
Hello.
Mr. Reynolds.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, geez. Hold on. It is post GenCon. Anybody want to put any bets on Worth of Web changing the value of BoardGameGeek.com?
It will have skyrocketed.
We're up 5% in traffic this week, so maybe that corresponds to some orders.
Hold on. Here we go. Sorry to tell you, you are holding strong at 75.75 million. So you're just the $75 million man right now.
Have a 5% increase.
No. How you doing, Scott?
Good. I'm awake.
However, it does say the report is 26 days old. So, it might... Yeah, when it generates, we might have a different answer for you. We have a newcomer this evening. Smile for the camera.
Hey, guys.
I was contacted and asked if we had an opening this evening, and I said, you betcha. So Geeked Up Gaming is here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, buddy.
Been doing reviews for 2 years, and it's going well. We're growing. We're at 200 subscribers, or 206 or so.
Try saying your name.
Nobody's allowed to know my name. I'm staying incognito.
Oh.
No, Timothy Sexton. That's my name. That's the only time I'm going to say it.
You say your last name is Sexingham?
Yeah, we're just going to roll with that.
Wow.
You're like a British landowner or something? Timothy Sexingham, Esquire, at your service.
What is naming our kids?
Who's this female voice in the background?
I keep thinking it's Rhiannon, but she's just staring dreamily into her camera.
Lance, I gotta tell you something, my friend. Every time you invite a new person on, they always have a blanket in the background, and there's always some sort of woman's voice in the background. I don't know what's going on. This time we actually saw the person. In most instances, I think it's like some sort of victim. Is that Marty there?
Yeah,
it is.
Morton Chlorplexley?
Hey, Travis, do your quick Marty impersonation.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Marty. Y'all want some Snickers?
I could say something really cruel right here, but I won't.
It was funny. I went over. I don't know where it was, but I walked over to at GenCon. I walked over to. I had to talk to Isaac Vega for some reason over at the Flat Hat Games booth, and I walked over and there was an open case of Eskimo pies. I was like, Marty's been here. I thought I must have just missed you or something.
Okay, well, it's not Snickers, it's not Eskimo pies, it's moon pies. Get it right.
Whatever.
Marty, can I ask you a question?
Wait, Marty, were you just sipping on your evening cranberry juice to keep you regular before they put you to bed?
That does look weird, doesn't it? It's tea.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a sweet
Prune tea.
Marty, is it hard to give defensive plays for the Green Bay Packers and be on the show at the same time? You have these headphones on. It looks so amazing. And once again, I see a foam diaphragm on your microphone. It's normally Anthony that has that, right?
You mean it's called a pop filter?
No,
Yeah.
no, on the one on your head, silly.
What, headphones?
Yeah, you got a damn mouth thing on there.
Well, yeah, it's a regular mic set, but I use the... What is going on here? I thought I came on to talk about Gen Con. I thought the topic was Gen Con, not bash Marty when he gets online.
All right. Everybody, leave off of Marty. Let's play nice. At least for like 10 minutes or so.
Holy cow! Remember, I see most of you at BGG-Con. Don't forget that.
And of course we
even lose to some of us.
Yeah. And of course we have my partner in crime, Travis. Hello, Travis.
Hi.
Excellent. All right. So, all of us were at Gen Con except for Robin, who couldn't walk across. Well, Barry is like, yeah, Barry, why didn't you go to Gen Con?
Because I'm poor.
Yeah,
that's the best reason I've heard.
You seem
to push you around in a wheelbarrow.
You seem to have like a nice. You seem to have still lights and a roof over your head. So I mean.
Yeah, my life savings are running out. I haven't worked in 9 months. Okay.
You're not like shopping one of your kidneys online or anything, are you?
Nah, there's too much stuff going on with them. Yeah.
Oh,
It's already flooded for
They're
that.
drug infested.
all right. Well, obviously we're just after Gen Con, and we can go wherever this conversation takes us. But I don't know. Let's open up with just I asked kind of I shot it out there, and I'd like everybody to answer it in some way, shape, or form, and I'll try to answer the question first. Like Gen Con's over, and we always it's like big 4 days, and it's crazy, and when you kind of get done, you kind of take stock of it, and like at least I do anyway, and you just kind of think, okay, so what did I do over the last 4 days to warrant the massive expenditure that I just spent. On the whole shindig, and I like to try to think of it's like, was it worth it or whatever. And there were a lot of things about Gen Con this year that I had a lot of fun and it was mostly the people. It wasn't. What is that?
Reese kid.
Yeah.
Is somebody? Did somebody like watch the Ring or something, or what was that?
That was my son.
Oh, okay. How's the little fella?
Good. He just wanted a hug and
Aww.
to not actually be asleep. So it's sweet that he wants a hug, but he really just wants to not be asleep.
Well, yeah. Isn't that crazy? Like little kids that never want to sleep when you're an adult. You're like, oh, if I could just nap whenever I wanted to, it'd be so sweet. But But anyway, but Gen Con for me, I had a lot of fun. It was fun. My wife came with me. The first time she ever went to a big convention like that. She's gone to some smaller ones with me, but that was, of course, obviously, this is the big one. But, once again, like, I always had, like, ideas, like, oh, I'm going to get there, and I'm going to do, like, 20 videos of, like, the different games I played, or I'm going to, like, go out and I'm going to interview this person and that person, I'm going to do all that, and it's just, like, I did a couple, and then I was just, they're just, I don't know, not for me. I just can't do it, and so that kind of fell by the wayside. And then I just kind of sat back and I decided I'm just going to relax. And after that first mad rush of the first day where you try to get the new release that you want or everything like that. After that, you just it's kind of that's over with, And for me, it was just really just being able to hang out with like the people that are here in this conversation right now, and also the other people that I was able to run into, and I can honestly say, just for the amount of fun that I had, just goofing around and having fun, it was worth the money that I spent. But I just wish that I maybe had tracked down a few people and like spent more time with a few people, like like Anthony, who's not here. I was going to mention I really wanted to hang out and do more with him, but it just always seemed like I could never find him and do anything with him, and so there's just certain people I know that I missed out on and didn't have nice, good conversations with. But I guess that's just kind of like there's only so much time, right? So
Anthony came by our booth 3 times, and I was like, "Hey man, what's up?" And we were busy, and he said, "I just came by to hurt your feelings," and then I go, "I'll come back," and then he walked away. 3 times he pulled back that same joke. He never actually hurt my feelings.
Maybe that was his goal by not like talking to you about it and what have you. That was
Marty did not come by my booth. Keith Collins came by the booth many times.
I came right by your booth, and you were busy, and I kept on walking.
Marty, come on.
I did. You were right behind BGG, because that's how you were running up. I was like, how did Ninja Camp get so high in the rankings? Oh, there's Action Phase right there.
Did you see the giant stack?
I love how no one puts 2 and 2 together. They're like, oh, y'all are so close to the booth. We live in Indianapolis, frickin' Sherlock Holmes. Of course. We have like 7,000 friends here in the place where the con takes place. You don't think? I told like 5 people to vote for us. The rest of it was people who demoed or they know us. So there's no ratings fraud here, right, Aldi? Wink.
No, we want everybody to send people to the booth. That's how. We're all the way in the back, right? We need.
And this rumor of me giving Aldi a suitcase full of money and then we kissed, none of that's true. That never happened. It's absolute gibberish.
I don't know.
I did, however, see Marty giving Rodden back rub, and it was a
cough drops, by the way. Those are awesome.
We did have a lot of cough drops. I was given a cough drop by some German men that looked like a Quaalude.
I saw that. That was like it was like as big as my thumb.
They gave me a cough drop that was like this.
Those are serious.
Like, here you go, my friend. This will wipe out your walls. And I took it, and I had been drinking, and I was like, there was like a moment where I was like, there's like a 40% chance I may die after I take this.
Those were Nils's buddies, right?
It had like letters and numbers on it, like a prescription.
You can get some serious shit in Germany, man, over the counter.
This thing was huge. It was like a golf ball that tasted pepperminty. You guys don't even know, Lance. When are we going to talk about our friends from Kentucky?
Well, I wish they were here so we could talk about them. We can get into that a little bit, but Marty, I know Marty, like, this isn't ripping you. I know Marty, sometimes you got to go to bed earlier, so I just want to make sure we touch base with you before. And I'm not going to the well and saying it's because you're at the old folks' home or anything like that. I just want to ask, how did your Gen Con go, buddy?
It went very well. This is actually the first time that I've gone in 4 years because just of commitments that my family had. Like last year, I had to move my son into college. The year before that, he was playing football, blah, blah, blah. So this is the first time I've been in 4 years, and it's gotten pretty insane over the past 4 years. I didn't get to do as much as I want. In fact, the whole 4 days is a blur. I look back over, it's like, what did I really get done? And it was a lot of walking, a lot of talking. But like you said, Lance, the best thing was seeing all you guys and hanging out with you guys. And that was the best thing. It's hard to put a price tag on that because you do have to, for this to occur, you got to spend the money to get everybody together to do that sort of thing. And that was definitely the highlight of my trip, was hanging out with you guys and talking to y'all. But as far as the actual games and stuff, I think I played like 3 games the whole time I was there.
I played 0 games.
I played 1.
What game did you play, Aldi?
Mogul.
What?
Mogul. Rio Grande games. Mogul.
Oh yeah. You actually told me about that one. Yeah.
I like that game actually. I liked the game when it first came out, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
And then this is like the redo with a slightly changed.
With a slight mechanic twist. Yeah, it was fun. 1 game.
Gotcha.
I did a lot of talking.
Well, yeah. I mean, you were also running all the your live feed stuff over there as well. So. That's pretty cool.
This year was the first year I actually did a lot of after-hour stuff. Like my energy level was way higher this year for some reason. I don't know why. And I was out till 1, 2 every night.
Did a German give you a large conspicuous pill?
I don't know, man. Nils came over and gave me a handshake, and I think he had something.
Diplomatic. We call him diplomatic
immunity. Yeah,
Diplomatic community.
Yeah.
No. I mean, did anybody? Okay. I mean, I know there's like it can't all be awesome and what have you, but did anybody have like a bad Gen Con? Like overall, like you're like, why did I bother going? Like that.
Joel, but he's not here.
Yeah, I respect Joel's reasoning behind it, though.
What was his bad Gen Con?
It wasn't that it was bad. I mean, he kind of just alluded. I don't want to speak for him, but he did a live hangout the other night and asked people to ask questions or whatever, and he mentioned, he like dropped the mic or whatever, what you want to call it. Like he's not going to go back to Gen Con next year, and he said basically just because the amount of money that it costs and all kinds of like just the expenditure plus like what he's able to do there and like having to take the vacation time and everything else, and it's just it came down to what he gets back isn't enough, and it's like, and so he wants to focus on maybe going to like a few like smaller big cons like Origins and things like that, and so.
That's a real shame. After that first day, I got like heat stroke or something. I didn't want to come back.
Well, that first day, and whenever it was setting up.
Robin, I didn't mean to speak.
Oh my god! That was the freaking worst. Our games didn't arrive until 7:48 at night. At which point I had to bail, and disappointing Rhiannon after I sort of forced dinner plans to change. It sucked, man. That day was actually a really crappy day.
And just so people that are watching that they know, basically what it was is that like they didn't, it dawned on me, like you're walking around inside the convention center and like this is before it actually opened. It's like 90 degrees with like 90% humidity in there, and because it's that hot outside. Well, yeah, because they had all the there's no airflow. And they had all of the loading dock doors open, but then you realize, well, they couldn't turn on the air then because of the fact that the loading dock doors are open. They would just be blasting all that air right outside.
So the woman that does to the coast used to sponsor air conditioning on the setup day.
What now? Say that again.
Anthony said that Wizards of the Coast used to sponsor the setup day, having air conditioning where they had like those plastic curtains coming down over the doors.
Yeah.
To keep the air in. It costs like $30,000.
Really?
And Wizards used to sponsor it, but they're not in the hall anymore, right? They're not in the vendor hall. So.
Which is crazy that like Gen Con doesn't have Dungeons and Dragons, doing something. So.
Well, but they've not sold anything in the exhibit hall anyway. All they had was the giant spider queen and a castle around it with nothing for sale, so they were really eating up sales space.
So from what I heard is that next year us vendors, us exhibitors can get together and pony up another $30,000 to get the air conditioning turned on for an extra day.
No, I was told it was $15,000 by the I asked the person who's one of the honchos to
It's a
the
bargain.
Or
15
GenCon can let somebody heat stroke and sue him for 5 times.
No, and she
Well,
said
someone
that-
went to the hospital, from what I understand.
Well, hold on. She told me that they are not legally required to turn the air on unless it was 96 degrees in the hall. Guess what the temperature was?
95.8.
95. It was 95.
It was pretty damn ridiculous.
It was dangerous.
Yeah, because
I
it's not
felt
just
like
hot, it's the heat.
I mean, I think I got a mild heat stroke. I was sick that night. So.
Oh, I had no energy at all. I just I went back after we went to Fogo. I just said I went back to the room and I just passed out. I was just, which is probably a good thing because then I got like 9-10 hours of sleep. So
Anyway, it's a negative, and it was hot in closing day too.
Anyway,
I don't like to focus on the negative. I got to get over my. Hey, Travis, we got to get. I've diagnosed us.
what do we have?
We have cognitive distortions.
What does that mean?
what the hell does that mean?
You think because a very small amount of people are negative that the whole world is negative against us?
It's true.
So.
Like Marty. Marty's negative, man. Look how he's looking at me right now. I can see his face.
So hold on. I come in here and get attacked, and I make one comment. It shows you can dish it, but you can't take it. What I'm hearing.
All right.
Come in here with your Magnum PI mustache and your sleep.
I wish.
Eyes, and
I'm gonna take off my shirt.
Did you say Riri?
I saw way more of Marty's skin than I ever thought I would in my entire life.
That was bad.
I was like, what are you doing?
That did not go as planned.
All right, so segueing, Marty, what didn't go well for you at Gen Con?
You know.
But wait, there's more.
Oh.
No, Marty actually had the best comment because Anthony kind of piped up and he said, "So who was the overall winner at the Board Game Network Stars?" And then Marty just coolly responded with the best answer possible. He said, "The audience," which was a great answer actually.
It was a good answer.
That was a good answer. So no, I mean, what didn't go well for you in your opinion at the old?
Well. They need some seriously more space in the vendor hall. There was that one corner back over there, the entrepreneurial's corner, that was ridiculous. You couldn't even move over in that area on a Thursday, and Saturday was just insane. I don't know where they're going to get the room. But,
Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yep. But I was thinking, how would people walk? I guess people would walk that far down there.
It's connected, dude. It's connected through an underground tunnel at the end of the hallway where the media and exhibitors go in.
But would the idea to put down something on the field, move the vendor hall there, or just move events there?
Just think about what you could do with an exhibit hall in that huge stadium. First off, the great big thing is air conditioned, so they can keep it warm. It's got huge truck bays. You could put stuff on the field. You can put stuff in the 3 levels of rings that go all the way around the thing, where all the traffic is. It's made to handle the traffic of 67,000 people simultaneously, which is what Gen Con's going to be next year. And then that frees up the ICC for more events.
The problem with that is that the actual field itself is not that big. Like, the field, it's about 150 yards one way. I mean, the exhibit hall is probably double that size easily.
I'm sorry.
You need the rings around the stadium.
I'm sorry, Forrest. You're not allowed to talk until somebody actually asks you a question.
Oh,
no,
I'm so sorry.
Plus, all I see is a blank wall here. What are you covering up your camera or?
Wait, no, I don't know. I'm not very technologically.
What the hell is this Aquaman cartoon thing?
How busy is the exhibit hall, or sorry, the open gaming hall during the day?
It's busy.
Like full?
Mostly.
It's a freaking waste, that area.
Okay, hold on.
Actually, massive.
In all seriousness, I want to hear
expand into there too.
Shush! In all seriousness, I want to actually hear what Mr. Bauer was saying about the size of the field and what have you. So,
well, I'm from the microphone's there. I'm from Indiana, so I've been to the Colt Stadium many times, and I just don't think it would be that feasible. Now, if you wanted to move events there, like make Hall B or something like over there, that would be fine. But if you're trying to put the exhibitor hall there, I think it would just be way too much hassle, especially considering, you know, you have the big field, and then you have to go upstairs, and then you have to go upstairs, and then you have to go upstairs. Like events and seminars, I think that would be a great thing to move over there.
Yeah.
But exhibitor hall, I don't think that would work too well.
I've also got something to add to that. I don't think it'd be feasible to have, say, your exhibitors over there and your vendors over there, because nobody's going to want to carry their stuff all the way from the Lucas Oil all the way back to the convention center that's already hooked up to the hotels. The hotels are right next to the convention center, which is convenient for everybody that has to carry their stuff.
I'm okay with that. It'll be less crowded.
You know what I hope they do? I hope that they make new vendors have to do like a Hunger Games type situation in order to get through.
Talk to the people.
Oh, somebody figured out how to turn his camera on. Way to go! All right.
I'm not the camera guy.
Let's now. This is where we critique your area. Okay, so this looks like, to me, at a glance, this looks like to me a kid living in the basement of his parents' house. There's a really bad couch right there.
It looks like he's.
You want to see bad couch? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure his wife's in a pit in there somewhere.
You don't think it looks like the background in Deadliest Catch, like he's in a boat in like the Atlantic right now?
I can see that.
That's why his cameras all start to
Well,
rock.
we're being mean to him, so he's one of us already.
No, this is my man cave. This is the spot downstairs my wife gave me. This is we just got done with game night down here.
Is that Clever Endeavor on your shelf? Clever Endeavor.
Yes.
I just see the word sports really big.
Yes. I don't know. This is like the crappiest games ever. Don't judge me based on those
What are
games.
you ironing on that little TV stand behind you? That's the weirdest situation. That'll take for damn ever to iron anything on that. What are you ironing, socks?
I don't know what my wife is doing back there. She had the iron.
So hold on. So I didn't know you live in Indiana. How do you live in Indiana and I live in Indiana and we've never even wrestled?
I don't know. I thought there was only like 11 of us here, so it's kind of odd.
I don't know. I mean, I know who you are. Who's this other guy? This guy that looks like an MMA fighter.
Is that me? Is he talking about me?
Yeah. You look tough as shit, man. And you even got like a skull and swords and shit behind you. I don't know what's going on.
I'm actually 20 minutes away from downtown Indy, so...
What is going on with this shit?
So there's 4 of us from Indiana.
How do I not know any of these people? Wow. Marty, are these people your friends?
It's the Hoosier Show.
Well, I was going to say, I've actually talked to Bauer's Game Corner every once in a while.
Yeah, we're on Facebook and Twitter together. Yep.
Yeah, Facebook and Twitter, and I think you left some comments on my videos, so that's cool.
Yep.
So it all comes around.
I'm a local publisher, and you guys have never reached out to me, or vice versa. This is
I'm not very good at asking for games, even though I have played Heroes 1. I really enjoyed it. I did an impression video on it last year. I'm just not good at asking publishers.
Well, I remember you showing off doing something. I remember seeing that. I've watched your videos before, but the MMA guy, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. You look tough though. I like how tough you look.
I think he's talking to Keith.
No, not Keith.
Yeah, well, I have to tell you guys about this haircut. Okay, so first, I got the haircut, and then this guy that I delivered parts to, because I do automotive parts, so I delivered these parts to this guy, and he's like, hey, man, he was trying to make fun of me, I think, and he's like, yeah, I think I know a good barber that could probably cut the rest of that off of there for you. I was like, well, man, you know, I got to cut it like this in case I get into, like, a grapple match or something. Somebody going to pull my hair. And he's like, grappling? What are you talking about? I was like, you know, in a cage, you know, like UFC, MMA, Bellator, stuff like that. And then the guy just, like, he just left me alone after that. So we can go with the MMA stuff.
Forrest, Chris Peach in the question wants to know if your grandma approved of you removing the plastic from the couch.
She did, but she did not like the fact that I drew inappropriate stick figures on it.
Oh, very nice. All right, here's okay. So Barry, what was your favorite thing about Gen Con?
That's cold, man.
My favorite thing was that my internet went down for 3 days after thunderstorms. I didn't have to hear anything you people said.
Very nice.
Barry, were you just sitting in that? Were you just sitting in that chair drinking red fluid and smoking the entire time we were gone?
Yes, that's what I do.
Hey Travis? Do your impression of running into Barry at Origins.
Go, hey Barry, it's nice to meet you. He goes, yeah. He's like looking around, just going, I gotta get a fucking drink.
Hey man, that's what conventions are for.
Pardon my French. I'm sorry, Marty. I didn't mean to say that.
It was my birthday.
I'm not making fun of you. I'm being serious. I know Marty don't like foul language, and I'm saying sorry.
Fuck Marty.
Oh
no! I'm kidding, Marty. I'm kidding.
Marty, I only saw you for a minute, didn't I? I saw you at the Secret Cabal thing upstairs just for a minute.
Yeah, that's right.
I saw your face more on T-shirts than I did in real life. That's a
whole other story.
Rhiannon, what did you like best about the Gen Con?
What did I like best about Gen Con?
I thought what you like the least. Switch topics?
Well, they might be the same, and that was seeing Lance.
Hey, Rhiannon, remember all those times we hung out at Gen Con?
Yeah, I remember that time I stopped by your booth and you gave me a hug. And that was it. Because remember, I found Nerd Dance on the way to find you. So.
Do you like how I treated you like if I was a millionaire and you were my kid and I had a business meeting? I was like, just give her whatever she wants. So I just gave her a bunch of games and walked away.
Get her out of here.
Get her out of here.
Yeah.
Nice. So no, but everything went great for you then, I take it. Well, that's suitable to discuss at this time.
I did that exhibitor hall before, that Wednesday. It was so hot, and I wasn't even doing anything. I just walked in there to get my badge, but I was just like, oh, this is miserable business.
Yeah, that's fine. It was weird. I don't know. There was some weird stuff that Gen Con always you're gonna have interesting things that happen or whatever. But I did. I ran into some media people, and I'm going to purposely not mention the names because I'm not here to dish. But I definitely got some really cool to less than happy fellow board game media responses from people that I met, and I was like, oh hey, just see him again or meet him for the first time. I don't know what it was. Maybe I don't know. It seemed like.
Was that Marco?
I'm right here.
No. I love Marco to death. It was actually really cool to run into him. I was so excited to.
Marco Ornato?
Yeah.
Marco Ornato.
Yeah. When you play this game, you look and you can actually feel the terror that is being induced in the. Yeah.
The game is very exciting.
No, you just sound like a bandito now. You sound like an extra in Three Amigos at this point.
Did somebody say?
I don't know. Kill him with your gun already.
Did somebody say Speedy Gonzalez?
No, or Slowpoke Rodriguez. La cucaracha.
I want to hear Robin do an impersonation of Marco.
Well, the thing about that is
very nice.
That's all I got.
And you slip back into your horrible British accent there at the end. So
my fake British accent.
Yeah, your total fake British accent. That's hilarious, actually. For those of you who don't know, Travis did a Kickstarter for a game a little while back, and he had Robin do the voiceover for it, and somebody complained that said, and whatever guy with the fake British accent that you got for the video was horrible. Just
I said in a Kickstarter group, I've said, yeah, our game's not doing well, and there was well, maybe if you didn't have that fake British guy on there that was putting everyone to sleep in the beginning, and then Robin just messaged me within 24 hours, she's like, what is this? They think I'm boring or whatever. I never complained about the video, man. These mean guys did.
Nice.
Here's what it is.
I love you, Robin.
Aw.
In fact, I call you Rockin' Robin to all my friends.
No, I haven't heard that once, so I guess I'm not your friend.
I can't wait. When can we talk about what we did, Lance? Because I feel like
because I mean we can talk, but don't we need Larry on to really get the full? I mean, the thing was, it was like, what was that Friday or Saturday night that we did that? Was that Friday night?
we did that crap 2 nights in a row, except the one night I was next to Mike Mendez, who hated me up until we ate dinner.
Yeah, but no, Friday night we ended up at that one place, the Yard House or whatever, and we were there for several hours. And Larry Lemke, the guy who is publishing Faux Hunters, and his friend, what was his friend's name again?
Creekwater Mike.
Creekwater Mike, that's right. They were just about two of the funniest individuals. I mean, and then of course, Travis, once he gets ramped up to like level 11, they were just.
I had a cider, and boy, oh boy, I let my back hair down that night.
Yeah, but I mean and so we're not going to go into the evening just because it's if you weren't there, it probably won't. But that's what like Gen Con for me is. It isn't sitting down and playing like 10 new games. It's hanging out. Creekwater Mike, that's right. It's about hanging out and having fun with people. You're the funniest individuals. Who's getting feedback there?
That was me. My bad.
No worries. But well, okay, so Travis, you said you made good money. You paid for your booth, so that's good, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we can get past this rigged elections nonsense that everybody's bringing up.
And then, but Scott, you were there and kind of like for work, right? Technically.
Yeah.
You hate your location on the floor, right?
I go back and forth every year on it. I would like more visibility, but I don't want to be more loud or crowded. So
I talked to the lady for you.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm just happy that we're allowed to come back. I know a lot of people aren't allowed to come back next year. They're not even allowed. They weren't even allowed to register.
Why is that?
Which was weird. I guess maybe they can register after they go in.
Or it's all those T-shirt vendors. Like I was talking to the lady from Haba, and she was saying that they got turned down initially. But luckily, someone superseded and was just like, "Oh no, they can keep doing it." But yeah, I'm curious to see how that's going to work out next year. I really think if they want to do expansion, the best thing to do would be to open up one more of those halls and then just shut down like a giant area of the hallway. Like if I had a map, it'd make more sense. But like I think that's the best way to do it is to open up one of those giant halls and connect them or something.
Yeah, you would cannibalize all of
Just the event hall.
Yep.
I talked to
waste of space.
I talked to the lady who's in charge of letting people book their booths, and she told me it's getting crazy. So no one can ever increase their booth size again. Ever.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the last year. So we totally Rain Manned our way into just picking a bigger booth size at the right time. So thank God, because we'd be screwed if we were trying to do a 10x10 forever.
So they're just running out of space in the dealer hall. Is that what it is?
They're gonna start doing a priority points system. So like your level of participation within the con will determine your ability to get a booth, I think. Because
anybody in Entrepreneur's Alley could not re-register. They just weren't allowed.
Well, yeah, Scott. But because of where we are, we're grandfathered into an old policy. She told me.
That's what when we came at the right year. 3 years ago.
I was talking to the owners of Broken Token, who was in the entrepreneurial area. This is their first year there, and they said they have no idea whether they'll be able to come back next year because of this priority system that's put in place. And that's a shame because that booth was buzzing the entire time they were there. They sold a lot of products.
Meeple Source, same thing.
Okay.
Yet you've got the desert that is the artist and author's alley, which is the big island of get away from the snake.
The thing is, that stuff is cool, though. I mean, I wish it probably
it's cool,
needs to be moved into a hotel ballroom. Like there's a giant
exactly,
hotel
you've got it all.
Yep. Artist Alley is like whenever they show a movie and it's like in Africa or India, and like there's a chase scene and they're running through like a market. A person is just pushing shit down to try, like throwing a basket of cobras up in the air. A bunch of rugs fall down, and then a guy turns a corner and the alley's too small and he can barely shimmy through. That's what Artist Alley is.
Even in the rooms across.
No, there's
from
all
the
kinds of space
exhibit
in
hall.
there.
I mean, there's plenty of places.
Well, I think.
Yeah, they should have one of those giant ballrooms across the way.
Yeah,
Where they have the option,
the
right?
two things I
man,
really
you
need
guys
to
are-
see is that move, and we got to get a bigger board game library to make it worth using.
You guys were on here griping up a storm about Geek Chic, and let's look what they're trying to do, man. They're trying to bring the con out of the con. It only costs like $30,000 or something.
Ugh. Did anyone else go to the Geek Chic night at the zoo? By the way, that was terrible. That was not worth $85. That for a family of four to have gone to that to spend, what? It'd be like $340 to go to the zoo and eat some hamburgers. That was.
Yeah, but nobody in their right mind paid for it because they gave so many free passes.
That too. They were given. I think we had a chance to get like 4 free passes, like 4 different times. That was not.
I mean,
Fogo's a lot better deal than $84 for a hot dog.
what is that deal? I mean, what are they trying to do with that? I don't understand that at all.
I know what it is.
Lay it on us.
Do tell.
It's a reserved, higher-end gaming experience for people that want to pay for it. So reserved tables, reserved areas, concierge service, food, delivery, anything you really want. In fact, like if you can think of something, they'll do it for you.
But you didn't even have a shuttle to get to the zoo on a 94-degree day. Like, they dropped the ball on that Geek Chic at the zoo, hardcore.
Do they have gaming going on there?
I didn't see anybody. I saw like 2 people playing games. I went there. I got there at 2, and I was like, all right, this is gonna be cool. And then it was just the zoo for 3 hours. And then I was like, then I came back for the hamburgers and everything, and I was like, all right, there's gonna be people playing games. And there's gonna be,
Right.
It was just hamburgers and hot dogs and a bunch of personalities from, reviewers and manufacturers and stuff.
Did anybody go to the mall? Their store in the mall?
No.
Didn't even know it was there.
Oh yeah, they have a store. They had a store
talking
in the mall.
about it.
Like, because in the food court they had the inner ring was all the like cheap Geek Chic tables, and then I was walking around and I saw they had like a store, and then they had a guy at one of their tables playing in the window, so it was like a live mannequin thing. I was like, oh boy.
They pumped a lot of money into this Gen Con. I maybe it'll pay back for them. I just don't see how.
I mean,
Yeah.
Is anybody willing to just pay the money to have a private gaming area at Gen Con? Like, it's reserved for
Yeah, it's called your hotel room.
Yeah, I was going to say, I got that one.
Yeah.
They actually had a table
No
that I could
comment.
game on at the JW.
Well, some of us had hotel rooms.
Well, I mean,
Did somebody else sleep in their car? I did that last year and the year before that, so I'm not. I just wanted to know I wasn't the only one.
are you in your car right now?
No. I wanted to go to Gen Con so bad that the first year I actually went, I slept in my car at a truck stop and just showered there, and
What
it
is
was well worth it. It was awesome.
Forrest? No, I know why I don't know you now. I'm afraid of the other guy. He looks like
I'm
his
a preschool
nickname.
teacher. I'm a nice guy.
What's your Twitter name? Pipe Wrench?
West Texas Termite.
Yeah, you about to get mounded, son.
Mound up. All inside jokes all the time.
Can I please? Because I can't. I got to drive to friggin' New York in like at 5 a.m. and drag my maniacal child with me across the wasteland that is Ohio and Pennsylvania. I guess I live in Indiana, so what am I talking about? Anyway, can we please talk about that one night? I just want to get it out of the way.
All right,
Marty has.
Travis.
I know if Marty is only going to be on here for a little while, I'd rather Marty talk about whatever he needs to talk about.
All right. You talk about that evening.
So we got-
it was weird because I think that it's when I'll let you go. I just want to say this though. It's weird like how two 2 or 3 hours of like, I mean, and that was just a fun time sitting at that booth. I mean, that was like when Bonacor was like going to go to that. He had like some big time meeting, and like he made a big deal to stand up, and he said, "See, this this party I was supposed to go to at 9." He's like, "I'm not going to be there," you know. And he was making a big deal, and it was fun. And I'll interrupt, and I'll let you go. The best part was when we were making fun of Nils. We were like making fun of him. And like literally, as we started making fun of him, he like just comes out of nowhere, this big giant German, and puts you in a big giant bear hug from behind. We're like, holy crap!
Well, what I said Nils is always sweating, his collar is always messed up, and he's always touching you. And then out of nowhere, he just goes, "Travis, my friend!" And his friend was like shoving a mammoth birth control pill in my mouth or whatever the hell it was.
It was supposed to be a suppository. That's the weird thing.
Yeah, I know. So Lance and I, we go to this place, and Larry Limke, the guy who did Faux Hunters, just comes crashing into the joint with this skinny little redneck guy, and
who looks like Casey Affleck's skeleton, as you put it.
Yeah. So it's him and his girlfriend. Who I don't even know if she has vocal cords. Like it was like if she was like in the movie Mannequin. Like if you looked at her, she wasn't alive, and then if you looked away, she turned alive. So what ensued was the little skinny guy was funnier than hell, and I wouldn't back down. And we had the equivalent of like a rap battle with just talking smack for like. It was like 3 hours. I mean, it just didn't stop. And it started whenever I said something to him, and he goes, "Why don't you shut your damn mouth, Gary Oldman from Fifth Element," because of my hair. And like it just went off the rails from there. And I don't know, Lance, what do you think? What happened?
Well, it's one of those weird situations where like it's kind of a seminal moment where it's like you just realize now that like I'll be in contact with those guys probably for the rest of my life because it's one of those crazy situations where you're gonna end up talking. I mean, I think the best thing because he was trying to like this guy Michael was trying or Mike I should say was trying to make fun of Travis for all kinds of things, and then Travis was coming back. And I think the line of the night for Travis was, "You're the kind of person that calls a bucket a pail." And like I said, this makes for really bad radio because none of you were there to witness it. But I do remember my wife could not. I mean, it was like one of those things where she couldn't breathe. She was laughing so hard at their antics. It was a great evening, and then, that was like for me. I spent a lot of money, on tickets, on a hotel room, on games, and whatever, and but it was worth it for that one evening. So there you go. I will say this: there's one thing I did not like about Gen Con this year, and this is I'm being completely serious.
All the Germans.
Who in their right? Yeah, all the Germans. No, who in their right mind that works for UPS decided it wasn't a good idea to be in the hallway. Doing the shipping.
Yeah, I don't know. I bet it's a money thing.
I was like, as I was trying to lug all of my games, which were quite a few, all to ship, I was like, God dang it, where are they? And they weren't. And so at the exact moment that I was trying to get these things to the office of the convention, that Rico office they have that could ship the stuff for me. It was at the exact same moment that stupid cosplay parade was going on, and so I had like 4 bags and like that weird Privateer Press backpack bag, and my wife's we actually took everything out of this giant piece of luggage that we have and filled that up, and I'm trying to push past all these people, and I was just. I mean, it's like at that moment, it was like, and then, and you know what? If I ever see Daryl Andrews again, I'm gonna have to punch him right in the mouth because I won't. But he sees me and he's like, I see Daryl Andrews and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I was like, "I'm trying to carry all this stuff and I got to get it over to the thing before 5. Well, good luck. I was like, "Well, thanks for offering to help you." Just. Another set of hands might have been helpful, but no, it didn't even occur to him to say.
How many? I mean, I've not been going for a while, but how long has the UPS been there? As far as I know, it's been there every year. that I've been.
Yeah, it's been there the preceding 3 years that I went. They were always there. So I mean, it was just, and it was handy. I mean, they're right there. They have everything. You just box it up and they take care of it. You know, I don't know,
Yeah.
but
We were depending on
whatever.
it.
I got my stuff today.
We had to scramble, and luckily one of our volunteers had a car and was able to drive it home with her. Yeah,
Oh, that's how you did it?
yeah, we loaded up her car with stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
We can't bring it home.
I actually. Well, no, it's impossible. And
How'd you get yours home?
I mean, there's. Yeah. Well, no, I went to that little office and I paid out the nose to have it shipped because not only did I have to pay the FedEx charge, but I had to pay the Rico people their whatever surcharge on top of it, and whatever. I mean, it's the cost of doing business, but I mean, what?
Did you go through Fern?
I don't know. It's just it's the business office.
Did you go through Eric?
And I guarantee you, yeah, Eric, yeah,
super nice guy.
And I guarantee you. Yeah, he's super nice and super helpful too. I mean, I had some questions after I left, and I had his number and I could call him, and he responded to my questions pretty quickly. But it was just he kind of, I don't know for sure. Maybe he knew, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But he kind of played a little bit dumb because I was like, "Did you guys make it so they couldn't be here? Like UPS couldn't be here?" He's like, "Well, I don't know anything about that, but I mean." Oh, it was taken.
UPS.
I'm
GenCon, and the hotel has a FedEx office. Therefore, no more UPS.
It would
Yeah.
actually Rico is UPS/FedEx, but yeah, it would make sense because we actually did an interview with him on all the services he does because he made me business cards in like 5 minutes. But yeah, that would make sense if they just said, "Oh, we don't need 2 UPSs here."
Well, yeah, I mean, but which was fine because I went FedEx Ground and I got my stuff today. UPS would have taken me until Thursday or Friday probably. So, yeah, whatever. Yes, that sucked. I think that's stupid. And if anybody for GenCon listens to this, which you won't, but if you do, bring UPS back to I mean, I was walking by the spot in the hallway where they normally are, and I got super lucky, and we got into the Union Station, Crown Plaza, and that place, our room was 20 feet from the Skyway that took you right to the convention center. And it was super handy and super sweet, and it was just, yeah, I mean, it was and that's the big thing too. Next year, I'm really worried about the whole lodging again. I mean, it was just I don't know. Who knows what they're going to do next year? They'll probably stay the same way because why would they switch it? They're still going to make their money, right? But I mean, if I don't get I will not go to GenCon next year if I don't get a hotel room that's close by. And it's just that's.
Yeah, we drove.
Maybe
we
that's.
drove a friend back to their hotel 20 minutes away. That would suck.
I'm still trying to decide what I'll do.
Who's fixing R2D2 in the background? What are these noises?
Hey, speaking of R2D2, did you guys see the? It was Rusty. Did you see him running around at the con? It was the red and gray one, red and silver.
What?
The R2D2, the robot. It had sensors and stuff. It would ride around on its own. It was like its own thing and would do it all. Everybody else had a remote control one. This one had sensors and custom built and did all of its own thing, made all sounds and everything.
I did not see that actually, but what are you gonna do?
I have a question for everybody. How the hell does Ortis Regni possibly make any money? This is crap.
I remember the same thing.
This is
how does what make any money?
Ortis Regni, the sponsors, their bags. How much do they drop on bags? I didn't see anybody talking about them. I didn't see anybody in there consistently or shirts.
Talking about them now.
How did they make money?
Well, and that's last year they had that entire room roped off, and they were like giving away free games left and right, and you know they had I don't know. I mean, and do you know anybody who plays that game? I mean,
No.
seriously, do you know anybody that plays the game?
I've contacted.
What is that noise? I swear to heaven, who's got a? What is that noise?
I don't know what you're talking.
I will mute each and every one of you.
Listen, you got these two other guys, these new guys. They might be loose cannons for all we know.
What?
Forrest looks like he's living in a Salvation Army. And this other guy's got a Dexter kill room like Larry.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know anybody who plays that game. I don't even know anybody who owns that game.
It's actually on Mac and PC now for free too, as a digital download game. So I don't know what's going on with it either. I've contacted the guy to ask him about the game and stuff like this, and try to do a review for it so everybody would know what it was, but nothing.
I got an email from him like 2.5 years ago asking me if I was interested in checking the game out, and I said, yeah, sure. And then I never heard anything else ever that. You know, it was just I have no idea. I mean, it exists. I mean, there are several video reviews of it out there. So I mean,
yeah.
You know, I just it's.
I feel like they're evolving year by year. Last year they didn't put their name on the bag at all. This year they put their name in incredibly small text in one small spot, and maybe next year they'll actually have their name prominently on there.
Well, that's just it. Remember, like the bag? It was just a bunch of pictures, and you were looking at it like.
That's the thing about the game. The cards have no text on them. That's the thing.
Yeah, but that's not going to work if you're an unproved. Like if they did that with King of New York last year, and they had monsters smashing buildings, that would work. But who the hell knows what Orders Regni is? I mean, it's not going to work.
Yeah, it just looks like medieval paintings.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody wasted like 10 grand on that, or possibly even more.
It was.
Let's see here. It's got a few rankings on the old thing here.
I have played it.
Have you played it, Barry?
Yeah. I couldn't remember the name of it offhand, but yeah. It's like it's a tactical game with cards. There are two different sets of cards. There's one with the artwork that doesn't give you anything about what the card does, and then there's another deck that'll tell you what the cards do. It's a cool game, you know, but like you said, it just hasn't got a lot of press or anything on it, you know. And it's kind of expensive because if I remember right, the guy I was playing with said you had to buy multiple decks for multiple people, you know. Like you start off with a deck for 2 people, you had to buy another deck to play 3 people and 4 people.
Yeah, it's that room was impressive. It's one of the best things I've seen at GenCon as far as.
And there were like what, 3 people in it?
When I went, it was totally full. And they had like 8 demo people in there, demoing the game. Half of it is an iPad setup. Definitely an expenditure.
I feel like Orders Regni just killed this conversation. Thanks a lot, Orders.
Yeah, what's weird is it originally launched on Kickstarter and failed at 57% of its goal.
Yeah.
Which means the guy's got money.
Did you guys see that Rivals Kickstarter that funded and they canceled it?
No.
Who was it by?
I don't know. Some guys.
Is that the one that came out and admitted that they actually set the goal so low, thinking they would get a lot more, and then they ended up not getting what they want? They just didn't do it?
Something like that.
Is that about the Roadkill game?
No, it's called Rivals. It's like
Just
plastic
Rivals.
Masters of the Deep. Barry, you know this one?
No.
Yeah.
Here. I want to read something to you. I apologize, but This is one of the like little mini reviews on Board Game Geek for Ortis Regni. The guy kind of explains it. He goes, and then he proceeds to try to like say that the game's horrible. You only do one action per turn and draw one card per turn, but the only other way to play more cards being to sacrifice their built-in functions and so on and so forth. You go, one game I played lasted 3 turns, in which I accomplished nothing, and my opponent fielded a hefty army and devastated me. And if I had survived 4 more turns, I would have accomplished nothing, even if he didn't attack. I don't know. And Aldi, do you own a copy of it? You own a copy of everything. Do you own a
No,
copy
they
of
didn't
Ortis?
send it to us. Let me double check, though. I don't want to speak wrong. Problem is, I think the box doesn't have any writing on it either, so we like.
I'll see you later.
Yeah, it was a weird
It's
package.
like no text apparently.
You're a weird package, Barry.
I got your package.
Now,
We don't have orders right now.
has anybody played Mysterium?
I played the crap out of the one at BGG-Con last year.
Okay, well that game has no card text, but that game works, you know? Like, everybody knows what it is now.
Because it's Dixit and Clue, man.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with Dixit and Clue.
Yeah, it's true.
Has anybody played the new version yet?
I opened up my copy the other day, and I was pretty impressed.
I played it Saturday night.
I've got a unboxing. I think, did we do an unboxing of that one? Mysterium? Oh, that's right, I opened it up at convention, so that one does not have an unboxing.
Marty, you had the old one too, right? Or you played
I
the
did.
old one?
I've played both. I'm unsure about this clairvoyancy token thing. I don't know that it adds a lot.
That's what I was curious. I want to know how you compare and contrast those two.
Well, the thing was that, you're supposed to kind of bet on your friends and whether they get it right or not when they put down what their choice is.
Yeah.
But and we've only played one game, but the one game we played, it was very easy to get those points, and everybody pretty much maxed out the points they needed to be able to see all 3 cards at the end. So, unless that changes, it's just way too easy. I mean, there's sometimes when you know, okay, that's obviously what it is, and the tokens range from like 1 to 6 points.
Yeah.
And if you know it's something that everybody's obviously that's going to be right, you've dropped the 6-point token on it. You only need like 11 points to be able to see all 3 cards. So it seems gimmicky. It almost seems like if you were wrong, you get negative points, but that's not the case. In fact, I read the rules multiple times, thinking I must have missed something somewhere. But
How many people did you have playing on that time you played it?
we had 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. I was the ghost, and then 4 others.
Okay, because we played it with 2 people. It was me, the ghost, and then Anna was playing as the psychics. So she played as 2 psychics because that's what the rule says. But it says that you can also up the difficulty to play 5, like 5 characters you have to guess, and then 5 locations, and then
Right.
5 weapons.
How did you feel the tokens worked? I mean, did you have any problem getting points for the
Oh,
tokens?
we didn't even get to
play
use
it, but I did get to play it with the tokens, and it felt almost worthless because
Okay.
everyone got to guess, and I didn't play the old version, but everyone got to guess because they all got to see 3 cards, and then every single person guessed a different one, so we lost. But yeah, the clairvoyancy thing was weird. I didn't really get how that added to the game.
Yeah, just as a concept, it seems like it kind of backstabs the cooperative nature of the game.
Right.
Why break things that? Never mind.
That
The
weren't-
components are really nice, though.
the components
The
rock.
ghost board is awesome.
It's board game. It's
It's
game board.
worth it for that purchase. Oh, God, I can't even speak. See, it's past 11. I can't even talk now. That's worth the purchase alone just for that ghost board.
I agree.
It seems to me that they made some odd changes with the cards as well. So they didn't change the images that you use to give clues.
Correct.
So you can't mix them with the existing version, right? And then they changed the card backs of the other version, of the other cards, which seems bizarre.
Okay, so I'm confused. Your accent's real then, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you talking about
Did they change the end game of it from the Polish
Yes.
edition?
Yes, they did.
How did it used to be?
You dealt out. You laid out 3 cards that you would pick a pairing or whatever.
I know you can hear that. What?
Is someone's phone vibrating?
No, it's like a buzzer, like. Brrr.
Oh.
Yes. Somebody's messing with me.
It's the end of the quarter.
Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead, Keith.
So the other version, you would choose your 3 dream cards to match one of the sets that one of the players had the best you could, and lay that out as the end game for everyone to guess and see if they can identify the correct one. And if you had knights left, you could make another attempt. And with the new version, people have to vote on which one they think it is, and if they didn't vote very well during the other parts, they get to only see 1 card versus all 3, and it's a majority vote on who it is in the end. And you get 1 shot. It's just different.
See, the only thing I didn't like about that final guess is that, say if you're playing as the ghost, I mean, you obviously want to make it difficult for the other players to actually get the right.
because you're on the same team.
But then you could just lie. You could just be like, "Yep, that's the guy." Or whatever.
Well,
Okay.
On the new version, you actually put down a token on which one's the culprit, then you reveal it to show whether they were right or wrong.
Oh yeah, on that little question mark.
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
I forgot about that when we played it like that. Yeah.
That makes more sense. That means your decision is locked in.
Correct. Yep.
Got you. Okay, so we didn't do that. Okay, so that makes sense. That makes me feel better about it. Because I was like, well, this doesn't make any sense. Why are we doing it? Why are we even doing it? So, okay.
I went and got ice cream. What is everyone talking about?
Whoa.
Who's this
Is there ice
blonde?
cream in Indiana?
Who's this blonde lady?
Hey, Mana.
Oh, that's the other half of the Geeked
I
Up
think her
game.
name was Banana?
You can call me that.
Hey, why did Rhiannon leave? Did anybody know?
Yeah, she's
I
boring.
mean, why wouldn't you? I mean,
Fair enough. Okay, so I mean, I'm assuming. I think these are really boring questions, but I think people like hearing the answers. Game of the convention for you, if you had to pick one.
And you're not allowed to say code names.
Witch Hunt.
okay.
Why not? Tell me why, Robin.
Yeah.
Why
Because
can't
it's
you
supposed
say
to be
that?
everybody's game of the convention.
Well, then it's the game
Well,
of the
that's the
convention.
game of the convention.
Exactly.
So
All right,
what
okay,
other than
okay. You can say code names with the caveat that you have to also say another one. How about that?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we'll start with Barry. What was your game of Gen Con, Barry?
The Killian on my porch. I talked to the Canadian earlier today. You were saying the Grizzle was, pretty popular there. A couple people said that.
All right. You should have said code names. But anyway.
Grizzle's a good
Tell me
game.
what I heard. You just tell me what I
Grizzle's
heard. I wasn't there.
How's your R2D2 arm there that you got there? Okay. Forrest. What was your...
Now, are you asking our own personal favorite game or the one that we thought was the hottest?
Dazzle me. You pick.
Witch Hunt by Kyle Brockman is a werewolf killer. If you are an experienced werewolf player, Witch Hunt is going to blow the doors off of it at conventions. It's spectacular. Goes on Kickstarter in like 2 days, and it fixes werewolf. I mean, it is outstanding.
So what you're saying is that the game that that's been around forever, that people have bought millions of copies of, needs to be fixed?
Yes, it does. Doesn't
And
make
why?
it right. Monopoly, Scrabble.
Oh, well. So tell me what needs to be fixed?
Well, it fixes player elimination. Once you're dead, you actually still have a semi-cool ability, but at the same time, you can leave the game and it won't impact the game. Everyone, there's no locked-in powers. Like, you would have a roll, and you get 2 cards. Your card, everybody's not a villager. No one is a villager. Everybody has a special power. It can get very convoluted if you don't run it right. But they've been working on this for like 6 years. They got an app which works extremely well. No one's a villager. Everyone's got a secret power. You get 2 cards, so essentially, the hunter would normally always be on the village side. Not in this game. The hunter could be a good guy or a bad guy, which just completely opens the door to everything. It is just outstanding, and it just makes me wonder how no one thought of it before. But I really think that if this game gets the right kind of buzz and the right kind of push, it's going to just it's way better. It's better than Werewolf, and I love Werewolf. It's like one of my top 20 games of all time, and it's just better.
So you love a game that's broken, is what you're trying to say?
Yes, I do. I
Right.
love Werewolf.
So then why fix it if you love it?
Because this that's I was about to use a really inappropriate analogy. It doesn't make it right that it's broken. They fixed it. They made it a lot better.
So why do you play broken games?
Because I love to lie to people a lot, and Werewolf lets me do that.
Aren't you able to lie to people without having to play a game?
No, but I love the long con. I love those hour-long game of Werewolf, and I've just been lying the entire time. I don't know. I just love Werewolf because it's a unique social experience. It's the same reason Twilight Imperium is my favorite game of all time. There's better games out there, most likely, but it just creates this unique experience. And I think Werewolf does the same thing when you got a large group.
Does Witch Hunt have a moderator?
Witch Hunt does have a moderator, but it's all done by an app. I love 2 Rooms and a Boom too, but it's better. Trust me, if you get a chance to try it, absolutely highly recommended.
Is it better than that game in the background called Sports?
Sports challenge for kids. Yeah, I got plans for that review. On the back of the box it says it's better than eating vegetables, so I'm just gonna slam my face with vegetables when I do that review. That's why it's there.
Sports
challenge for kids. That's the name of it.
Where'd you get it at? Like Goodwill or something?
No, I'm a preschool teacher, and it was a hand-me-down. It was missing a lot of components, but I have a lot of components, so I shoestring it together, and eventually I'll review it.
All right, moving on. Mr. Sexton.
Hello.
Okay, so this isn't the game of the con that I wanted to pick, but going back to his Werewolf, did you get a chance to play the Origin from? They got their Twitter account is all I got is the L90 the Origin. It plays strictly on the phone. There's no moderator, no dying, no sleeping, and basically.
But I like sleeping.
So basically in this game, there's a person that, and I don't understand it exactly because I didn't get to play as one of the main guys, but everyone is supposed to be not infected, and this is basically like everybody gets the T virus, but I can't actually say T virus because that's probably copyrighted by whoever. But so it's kind of like everybody is supposed to be a what's the word?
Researcher.
A researcher. So you're supposed to play it off that you're a researcher and you're not infected, and then there's like a main guy that can actually boost other people to be more infected to be able to infect other people. And it's hard to explain because we played it on a server. It's not even in app form yet. It's strictly all the way down to alpha. Like they're testing it now. They're supposed to have a Kickstarter running at the end of the year, and they should have it available by GenCon 2016. So I thought that was a really cool game to maybe talk about, but maybe that is my pick. I'm going to say that's my pick. Right there is the Origin, even though I can't explain it very well.
All right. Thank you for coming to Alaboom. This will be your last one ever. No, that's cool. I always like learning about games that I didn't know existed. Now I've just learned 2 in a row, so that's pretty cool.
I would say Ryu or Homeland.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Ryu or Homeland.
You know, I was actually really excited that I actually saw Ryu or Rao or whatever.
Roy.
Anyway, Hadouken. I was excited to see that because I had played that at the Asmodee Playmania event the year before, and I completely forgot the name of the game, and I actually kind of enjoyed it, and then one of the Asmodee people actually they showed it to me, and I was like, wait a minute, that's the game I played a year ago that I had no idea what it was, and so that I brought that home with me. I'm excited to give it a play.
We bought that one in Homeland. We bought it before we demoed it, and both of those we're really excited about.
Homeland does a much better job with the secret identity stuff than its predecessors. And I've never watched a single episode of that show.
We haven't either.
But still highly enjoyable.
You know, and I've heard like we watched Sons of Anarchy, but Gale Force 9 did a really good job making a game for the show. So I'm assuming if you watch the show, it would probably be good for it because I've heard from Firefly people that their Firefly is just off the chain.
That show, I remember when the first season that show came out, and they would just always, it would always, like, I watched Dexter at the time, and then that show would come on after, and then they would show a trailer, and every friggin' trailer was the same thing. It was like Claire Danes or whatever running around in the background in some sort of, like, frenzy, and then it would just show the redheaded guy, and he would just be doing something really inconspicuous, like he'd be drinking coffee, and then he would go, and then it would cut, and it would go, oh, lad. Every time, he'd be like, he's a terrorist, and he'd be licking an ice cream cone, and he'd go, every time, every trailer for the first season.
Very nice. With Homeland and now with Dark Moon, I don't know if I'll be playing Battlestar Galactica anytime soon.
Hold the phone there, Charlie Horse.
Yeah, well, Battlestar Galactica I feel like is really hard to set up, and although Homeland has the same kind of complicated thing, it was easy to set up.
Yeah, and I will say this, and this is my like quick little Dark Moon review. Dark Moon is amazing and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But they have I just wish the theme meant something to me playing it. I don't know. I get annoyed with it because I'm just like, oh gosh, now I'm one of the infected miners of this stupid moon or whatever. What are we doing? I don't even know what we're doing. Just give me the dice. I'm gonna roll them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So just I wish they. It's one of those things where and I'll mention this probably when I do my video for it. Does anybody remember an old Sean Connery movie, a space movie called Outland?
Yep. Outland is one of my favorites.
The movie's amazing. It's just it's basically there's this mining company. I think it's around Jupiter, way out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
And basically the corrupt corporation or whatever is like drugging the workers to get them to work harder and keep them up late, and they're having psychotic episodes, and so then Sean Connery is like this marshal that goes out there to investigate it, and of course a thrilling adventure ensues. But it was just like one of those things I was playing. I was like, somehow if they like found out who had the rights to Outland or something, and like but of course, oh yes, now our theme is based on this like what late 70s space movie. I don't think that would actually be a big seller either, but I don't know.
Well, it would just be appealing to us, right?
Yeah. So damn it, make it, Stephen Bonacore, do it. But yeah, but if
when I played that game, have you played it yet?
Yeah, Dark Moon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you haven't, for those of you who are watching this, if you haven't seen Outland, even though it does the horrible misunderstanding where if you are in space and you pop your spacesuit, you explode, which doesn't happen. It is an excellent movie with a young Sean Connery. So there you go.
One of my favorite It's a classic. It's a classic science fiction movie.
Oh, it is, and it's a western in outer space. I mean, that's what it is basically. But but it is a good western in outer space.
It and Silent Running are two of my favorite.
Oh man, I could watch Silent Running over and over and over again.
And those are movies that no one knows about. Like
Bruce Dern is amazing in Silent Running. So yeah, there you go. Okay, so so let's moving on down the row, I suppose. And then for those of you also both those movies, watch them. And if you don't like them, then you can tell me I'm stupid or something. But you won't. You'll love them both. Mr. Collins, what was your game of the show?
I'm going to throw out a couple of things because I haven't played everything I even bought. But for someone that did not already own Mysterium is the best game coming out of GenCon 2015 overall for me. Codenames right after that. What I actually bought and played that I liked, I would go with Champions of Midgard from Grey Fox Games. The Viking themed worker placement was a good game. Discoveries was interesting. I liked it. Don't know how much I loved it. New York 1901, well-designed game, but kind of a miss for me. So there's a quick summary of a few games.
Cool. I think you mentioned I haven't played Discoveries yet, but I'm excited to try that one because I really like Lewis and Clark. Does it really port over like the feel of Lewis and Clark over, or is it just?
You still have that feel of exploration because that's what you're doing. You're exploring with those dice. You've got to interface with as the rulebook says, American Indians. You've got to get some of those tribes as part of your party in order to succeed. They're going to be worth a point for majority, or worth some points for majorities. Then you work on some set collection, trying to collect some of the different symbols on some of the routes, trying to get the samples of the mammals or birds, fish, flora, etc. And then just completing cards for points as well. So there's a little bit of everything going on there, and you want to do a little bit of all of it to maximize your score. I think the key to the game becomes kind of building up for the big turns so that you can explore 2 consecutive cards and be able to take an extra turn, because that's what happens when you manage to put those together. But again, those American Indian cards are key to be able to do any kind of big turn, because that's where your most efficient actions come from. They're much more efficient to use those than the actions that are built in your player board. So.
Okay. Good. I'll be interested to check that one out. The other, what was the other game you mentioned? You mentioned one. I can't remember what it was.
Champions of Midgard.
Yeah, is that good or is it light? Somebody told me. I was like, somebody who had played it. I said, what did you think of it? And they're like, oh man, it really reminded me of Lords of Waterdeep. And I said, oh, crap.
It doesn't remind me of Lords of Waterdeep, other than they're both worker placement games. But it's not the deepest worker placement game in the world, but it is interesting. You spend your worker actions to get food, to be able to send, and to get warriors, or to get gold, get wood, all these things where you can get your own personal longboat, or get your build up your little army, if you will, to go defeat trolls or Draugr or some of the monsters across the ocean. And most of your victory points are generated from defeating the different monsters that are either threatening the village or going out to do that for glory. And so I don't know if it's just compared to Lords of Waterdeep because it's a fantasy theme. I think this one is a lot more thematic than Lords of Waterdeep because you are recruiting things to go kill monsters, so that's a little more thematic than spending yellow cubes or purple cubes or whatever to do a quest, which is just doing that. You actually have to roll dice, get defense, get attack, and you roll until either the monster's dead or your warriors are dead.
Fair. All right, cool. Mr. Connell, paging Mr. Connell.
So, it's Connell. But other than that...
Paging Mr. Conair.
There you go. Which I saw that movie the other night. That movie does not stand the test of time, I would just say.
Well, the end of it, I don't mind. I don't mind Con Air just because it's a ridiculous movie. Put the bunny down.
Yeah.
But I do like the 17 ways they kill John Malkovich at the very end. Very, very Wile E. Coyote-esque.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. But anyway, and so, also it has the line of like. When Buscemi does that little line where he goes through the, it's like that man's a font of pent up rage, and then he goes through the, it's like pick your standard excuse, Daddy loved me too little or too much. Late night sneaky uncle. It just goes through all the.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Anyway, Con Air, great movie. Picking up on Blu-ray today.
Wow. Tangent right there. Okay. So my two games of the show were Blood Rage and Ashes easily. I got to play. I didn't play Blood Rage there. I got to play Blood Rage a few weeks ago at Cool Mini or Not Expo. But since it was released at GenCon, that's definitely one of the top games I've played in a very long time. It's a lot of fun. It has a little bit of Euro mechanics, some Ameritrash, and then I love card games. And Ashes is just blowing it away for me. I've played 4 or 5 games since I've gotten home. Love the art. Love what Isaac Vega's done. So there's my 2 right there.
Cool. What's everybody else's opinion on Ashes? If you played it.
I demoed it, and I thought it was okay. I think I like Summoner Wars a little bit better if I'm gonna go head to head. I don't know. There's just too many head to head. I know it can play up to 4 players, but I demoed it wanting to really like it, and I was just like, I don't know. I also have a really soft spot for Mage Wars. Like, I don't know if I'm ever going to like another head-to-head more than Mage Wars.
I did get Mage Wars Academy, the one that just came out with just the cards only, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
I demoed that at my friendly local con because they're actually from around Indiana, and I really enjoyed that a couple months ago. It gives you the Mage Wars flavor. You still make the spell book and everything, and but it's really 30 minutes. I like that one a lot. I think they might have a hit with that one if they can get the right marketing on it.
So is Ashes supposed to be like Mage Wars, or saw it, but I didn't get to play it or hear anything like what the game is about. What's it like?
The easiest way to say it is Magic with dice.
Yeah.
But
well, the best thing about it is that if you roll poorly, you can use your cards to mitigate your rolls, and if you get a bad draw, you can use your dice to mitigate your draw. So I mean that's I think what they're going for as far as that's concerned.
So basically, well balanced mechanics.
So far, the core set seems very well balanced.
Yeah.
I did try Versus 2. My sons went in together and bought Versus, and while it's kind of nostalgic, it's really feeling its age, in my opinion. When you've had other games come out recently, like Netrunner and even Ashes, it just seems the mechanics of Versus feels like it's 2008.
They didn't change it at all?
They did, but it still feels, okay, I'm going to put down 1 resource. You put one resource per turn. You put a guy out.
What's that? You're whispering in the background, just like he doesn't realize we're talking.
Yeah, y'all dropped out for a second.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I when I demoed Ashes, I was actually, it was one of those things where I played it and then I was surprised that I enjoyed it because I don't normally like that type of game. I get annoyed with it. I don't know. I'm not the kind of person that will sit down with all the cards and try to work out some master plan or strategy. And well, if I take out this card and add this one, my ability to do this is increased by 0.7%. I don't have the wiring within me to find that interesting. So I like the fact that it's all pre-made decks and things like that, and I enjoy that. So the last game like that I ever really got into was the Call of Cthulhu LCG, and I would just play that and I didn't even really make decks really. I just took all of one faction and put it together and just played it, and instead of mixing and matching. So I don't know. I'm excited to give Ashes repeated plays at this point. So
how many factions came in the base? I haven't played it since the play testing, right?
Is it 6? Were there 6 of them?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Six of the wizards or whatever, and then
I think there's 6 Phoenix Born in a promo.
There you go.
Oh, the promo. That's it. That's the 7th. Yep.
Robin, what was your game at Gen Con?
Yeah. I'm still waiting for mine to arrive, but Ties of Time arrived. Discoveries will be here. Ashes will be here. A lot of the sold-out games will be here in the next day or two. So,
I do like Tides of
but I haven't
Time.
played them yet.
It's a nice quick one.
I actually got a chance to try out Boomtown Bandits and Letter Tycoon at my game night, and I enjoyed both those an awful lot. I think those could be some games that might be little surprise hits. I know they're not out yet, but I think they're coming out later this year, both from Squirmy Beast Games, and I think Boomtown Bandits could be a real hit. Like it's scratching.
Rubber band guns.
No. This is a 30-minute dice rolling game, 2 to 5 players. You're going to saloons, just chucking dice, playing special cards on each other. It plays really quickly, really simply. I think they might have a hit.
I was actually like the first one, the Letter Tycoon. I think that actually could very well. If that, I've said this to a few people. If if that game could get a bigger footprint out there, like more people would know about it, I think people would really enjoy that.
Yeah, I played tonight with 2 people who are not particularly big fans of word games, and they both liked it.
Yeah, I mean it's
Is it better than paperback?
I haven't played paperback.
I enjoyed Letter Tycoon more than paperback, though I might be in the minority. But that's just one man's opinion, if you will. So, but yeah, I would suggest to anybody, like if you're a fan of word games, there's absolutely no reason not to own Letter Tycoon. A very surprisingly simple game too. You can be up and running in about 5-10 minutes, not even. So.
For unreleased games, I played 4 great games of Mafia de Cuba at the Cabal meetup with Matt Evans and his friends, and I really enjoyed that. It's something you can stand around without a table in a crowded room and sit there and just knock out game after game. I had a really good time with that.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of my wife and I went to the Playmania event, and we're leaving, and they're like, oh, and they handed me a copy of the game. I was like, cool. And then they went to hand my wife a copy of the game. She's like, oh, it's okay. And I was like, why didn't you take the game?
I apparently ducked out too early, so I had to make my own when I got home.
All right, Aldi. Other than the game of being stuck at your desk or your booth all day, what was your game?
So I put a couple things in my bag to take home that I could fit. Rattle Battle I brought home. I want to play that right away. And Predator Legendary.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 games I plucked to take home early.
Have you played them?
No.
No.
I'm working. Videos now. But one of the coolest things I saw was, and I don't know if this was on the floor or what. I don't know. The guy was walking around with it in his backpack or something.
Win, lose, or banana?
Yeah, no, not meow. Maze Racers. Anybody see that?
That's one with the fox on it?
Fox Mind Publishing.
Yeah, that looked really good.
The magnetic board with little wall pieces. They're like foam, and each person makes a maze on their board. It's competitive maze creation and racing. So you make a maze, your opponent makes a maze, and then you trade, and then you have to race them with guiding a little ball through, kind of like Labyrinth style, where you're tilting it forward and backward. That was pretty cool. That was one of the cooler demos I saw. And I'm a little behind because I didn't see Flick 'em Up at Origins like everybody else, so that blew me away. That was pretty cool.
Oh, I heard they're doing a giant version. Now I'm mad because I want the giant one.
I heard Z-Man was publishing it.
Are they going to produce it?
Yeah, Flick 'em Up was there at the GenCon.
Yeah, I've heard they're going to produce the giant. So.
Well, but it's not going to be mass. It's going to be. I doubt that's going to be something that everybody can pick up or find or whatever. I mean, it's.
Yeah, it'll be ridiculous.
I think it would be huge. They should call it Kick 'em Up.
we tell the jokes for us. This is your first one.
And Ryan Lockhart from Red Raven, I guess is the name of that company. He brought Above and Below over, and that looks pretty cool. He calls it a storytelling game, which I think is not the correct terminology for those games. I thought it was a storytelling game where the players made the story, but it's a storybook game. or like Tales of the Arabian Nights, whatever that mechanic is called, where you read an adventure line, paragraph, and you have choices.
Choose your own adventure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tales of the Arabian Nights or
Smersh. Yeah.
but it's
Smersh was actually a game. Arabian Nights is like, I mean, I will tell anybody who will listen to me that, like, if you think the idea of like Arabian Nights is fun, you need to own Smersh, because Smersh is just awesome.
Smersh is an actual game.
Yeah, it's an actual game, and it's a ton of fun, and you know, and it's just that.
Yeah. Above and
Fantastic.
Below is the Euro game with that storytelling. I keep saying storytelling, but it's not storytelling. It's choose your own adventure.
Yeah. Storybook, maybe. Storybook game?
I don't know. What does Board Game Geek say?
I don't know. You run the damn site, $75 million man.
Storytelling, it says, but it's not. Storytelling is when you make your own story.
Oh, Marty's going to leave. But Marty, hold on. Don't you leave now. Just hold on. Hold on. So you said seeing everybody was there. Will you go to Gen Con next year?
Lance, I think I'm on the same boat as you. If I can get a room, yes. But if there's a lot of hassle of trying to get a room, and I heard nightmares of people, staying away from the city and the pain of driving in and out every day, no thanks. So it really comes down on the lottery day, I guess, whether I'll be going or not.
Yeah.
What stinks is you have to buy your badge before you find out if you can get a room.
Yep.
Well, by this time next year, won't you be able to pull off
Don't do it.
Oh, you can pull off a press badge, Keith.
Oh,
Easily.
he's going to say press badge. No, I thought you were going to pick on somebody.
What if they put the prices up? Marty, would you still go?
Hi, John.
Put the prices up?
Yeah, for entrance. To try and adjust the numbers and stuff like that.
Oh, you mean for a badge?
Yeah.
Well, I get a press badge, so I don't really care.
Okay.
See, I'll buy a badge regardless because at a minimum I will drive my happy butt up an hour and 15 minutes, park, go shopping Thursday, and go home.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if I don't get a decent hotel room, I guess I will just you'll be my Gen Con mule as well, Keith.
Oh, hell no.
The truck stop 10 minutes out. It's rather nice. Just saying.
I got a big old house just about 30 minutes away from the convention center up here on the north side, and it wasn't too hard for me to get over there at all. So.
We live in Whiteland. Stay with us.
Yeah, I live in Fisher, so it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, I live in Minnesota, where we have lots of lakes. So, all right. Well, Marty, thanks for joining us today, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Enjoy seeing everybody last week. It's a shame a week ago this time we were all together, a lot of us in Indy. Now I'm sad.
No, isn't that? And then that's what too. I told my wife today at work. I said, I feel sad, and she's like, well, it's like you're just because you're not around your buddies. And I was like, oh, that's probably it. It's just like, it's so weird, like being in such close proximity to everybody, and then and new friendships and everything else like that. And then it's just kind of like that weird letdown. So, but hey, BGGCon's close, right?
Yep. Summer camp for gamers is what it is.
Grand Con. What about Grand Con?
Well, most of these people won't be at Grand Con. That's like a you and me thing.
Marty, I wasn't mocking your accent. Lance made me do it. Stop.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yes, because far be it from Travis. He's like, oh, I must be on stage, so it's time for me to start telling jokes. It didn't take much to get him rolling. Let's just say there. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, take care, man. Have a good night.
See you
I
guys.
haven't asked what was my game, my pick.
Oh, fine.
What is this crap all about? I'm
wanted
up
stuff
for
of
no damn
legend.
reason. I gotta leave in 5 hours and drive for like 1,000 hours. What are you doing over there, Forrest? You need some help, buddy? You want me to call 911?
Drop my tripod.
Part of your junk collection coming to life and attacking?
What was the trash heap on what was that show? The Muppets, but not Muppets.
Fraggle Rock.
Fraggle Rock, the trash heap.
There, is that better? That
Uncle
looks so much
Traveling
more
Matt.
Nice gaming table.
Thanks. Made that myself.
Why is the iron plugged in? That's like really irresponsible. Why are you teaching children and you left the iron plugged in on a little ass table in the back?
I got $200,000 on this house. This thing burns down. That's my truth.
Good thing you just documented that on YouTube.
Can we have your address, please?
You're setting the world on fire there, Matlock. What's going on? John Rott's here. What did you do this week, John? Did you program all of reality into another game?
As a matter of fact, I did. No. I rested. I took Monday off. That was a nice feeling. So, and then fulfillment starts on all of our add-on stuff. So, gotta clean the house tomorrow. Super excited.
Games waiting for me when I came home. So thank you.
John,
good. Let me know.
John, what was your game of the con that is not King's Armory?
It's right here.
Greenbrier?
Yeah, well, Artistic Justice, but then like Greenbrier takes most of the credit. I'm really not sure exactly how it works.
What's that? I couldn't see it.
That's the one we were trying to learn earlier when we started this. When we were messing around with and going through the characters and whatnot.
Yeah, the
That told me that was a good seller.
I haven't played it yet.
Does it have a name?
Well, the rule book's kind of hard to get through, and then when we had it all, they were like, so I've been tweeting Alex to try and figure out some of the rules that seem a little not clear in the book.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. But, yeah, did anybody review it? I'm looking for, like, a reviewer's video or something who, like, does a playthrough.
Nothing, and all the videos I've watched are put up by Alex himself, and it seems to be, like, an earlier version, because some of the rules aren't, like, consistent with what the rule book says. Like, in the video, it says, like, roll for your movement, but on your character sheets, you actually have a movement stationary, so you don't roll for it now.
Gotcha.
So...
on the BGC forum, he said this week that in the next 2 weeks he's going to put up new videos that have the most updated rules or whatever. So you're probably right about having the older video you're watching.
Cool.
There's a pretty cool mini that's included in that line. I don't know, some Viking guy or something. I don't know.
Fairy Tale. Where's the chat? There it is. All right. It's Fairy Tale Games Battle Royale. Yeah,
there's an undead Viking figure for that. I think it's like it was a expansion or something. They hit some stupid amount of money, and so my.
What is going on in the background of John Rott's house?
I don't know.
Relish?
I'm that myself.
I have my junk heap hanging from the wall. No, we live next to a parking deck, so we have a blanket hanging from. It's like our curtain. So I'll like clip it up to the thing, but it's all kind of retarded right now. So.
Oh, that's nice language. Wow.
Retarded is technically a word that means slow and non-functional. So.
It looks like you have some nanners up there in your little hanging basket. And, let's see here. What else?
I got way more bananas than that.
So
Whoa! Nobody can get aggro over there.
I'm just saying, I got more bananas than all you guys combined. And don't challenge me.
If you want to throw down over bananas, I mean.
You don't know that.
I do know it.
Just another game of win, lose, or banana.
John Rott, you look like somebody who killed in Game of Thrones or today.
Thanks.
You've got like the facial hair and the long, flowing mane.
And blades at the ready. Actually, my envelope, my box cutter and envelope opener. So cute. Hi Barry, how are you, man?
Really fun. How are you?
Good. How are we doing on views on our little sit down?
I don't know. I don't really pay attention. It was okay.
I know at least two people watched that thing because they had 2 people had mentioned it to me.
And look, John Roth shows up, and things just crawl to a halt here. We might. Oh, Travis has got to go to bed. Oh. Yeah. Where are you heading tomorrow, buddy?
How are we talking about the largest con, the most exciting con, and it feels like we're talking about I feel like we're on Antiques Roadshow or something.
Because we're all wore out from it.
Boring.
What's weird is Stephanie Straw is listening to our hangout. She's not posting anything or not saying anything in the chat. And I asked her if she wanted to join on Twitter, and she favorited it or something. But now she's not. She's not joining us. Maybe we're not cool enough. I guess we're only cool enough to listen to.
I'm messaging her now.
Well, yeah. Of course, you have her on speed dial or something, don't you?
What is that supposed to mean?
That just means that you and her are friends. Try not to read. It's not all about you, Travis.
Apparently, it's not about me in any capacity tonight.
Well, Travis, regale us. Regale us with the story, Travis.
I hate you, Lance.
You usually at this point had made fun of me 6 or 7 times about something. So
Lance, you treat everything that is sacred to me as toilet paper.
That's not true.
That's why Lance actually has this video off. It has absolutely nothing to do with bandwidth. It's so that Travis won't make fun of his background.
Well, no, okay, it is bandwidth, but I mean, there's nothing to see. It's just my painting table. There's nothing that fantastic behind me. Sorry, am I to tell you? Though I did get this in the mail from the UK today. I'm excited to try this out with my daughter. It's a game called Roar, and you actually it has some. I don't know. The instructions inside were not English, so I'll have to download the ones. But you have to use just a phone or a thing, but it's you use the sounds to do deductions as to what monster on the table that you're trying to point out, and so you have to find the different monsters. So I'm excited. This looks fun. Something fun I'm gonna play with my daughter. So
we're bragging right now. Yeah, we're bragging. I'll brag.
Hey, Flux Dice.
Yeah, we're bragging, right?
Well, I'm not really bragging.
I'm joking. No, that actually sounds really cool. I'll be interested to see how that is. That roar. Yeah.
No. So that, and then I have my GenCon package just showed up today, and it's it was a lot of weight. It was 3 giant boxes and 1 big box, and it was expensive as heck to have it shipped home. But oh well, it's good to have it home now. So I don't know. Is anybody? Hold on. I don't know if anybody wants to bother with this piece, but you know how it is.
Yay! Love that thing.
Did you have good sales, John, overall?
I did. I am really proud to announce that Gatekeeper Games is officially out of the red.
Yeah!
Woo! Yeah!
For the first time in 2.5 years, I can pay myself something, so I'm honestly pretty excited about it.
How much are you going to pay yourself, though?
A bag of Skittles.
Not a lot. Not a lot, but probably enough. My whole situation right now is buying my wife a month as a stay-at-home mom, 1 month at a time. So I'll probably buy 1 more month, and then and see how retail sales do.
You should you should give your wife her present.
What should I give her?
Some halvesies dice.
I actually did.
For those of you who don't want Travis to have Travis's wife be able to stay at home with their beautiful child, go buy some halvesies dice and a copy of King's Armory. Do the right thing.
You mean John?
You mean John? Yeah.
Wait. Wait. What?
I'm sorry. I used the wrong word. I apologize.
Cool. I was just saying, if I'm under moral obligation to support Travis and his wife, I mean, I'll do it.
Yes, you are.
No.
Support me as well somehow.
I already did.
I know you did.
No,
I got this in the mail too. I have no idea. I didn't even. Renaissance Wars. Does anybody know anything about this?
That looks cool.
Yeah, it looks really neat.
This just, I mean, literally just showed up at my door. I have no idea what it is.
Isn't that the best when you just like, where the hell did this come from?
I
said that when I got my Mayfair chocolate last
looked it up on
Christmas.
BBG if I could successfully spell Renaissance correctly, but I can't. So, no results found.
Search
Well, it
for
says
Ren,
here
search
a
for
game,
Ren Wars.
a
Ren's
game
Space
filled with intriguing history and magnificent art. Take on the role of Renaissance luminary, battle opponents, and accumulate the wealth and power to dominate each era of the game. It's like Saint Ignatius, Brunelleschi, Luther. Oh, Martin Luther's in it. Well, I like him. He did make my religion. Francis Bacon, Christopher Columbus, and William Shakespeare. I don't know. Looks interesting, I guess. The art, the front page, the front of it looks really cool. Try not to have the glare.
You got a visitor, Lance.
My cat or my daughter?
Your daughter.
Oh, my daughter. What are you doing? You want to say hi? Yes, your movie's over. Do you want to say hi? No, she's being shy today, so she's just gonna stand there in the background. Yeah, John says, "Love you." That's my buddy John right there.
Did anybody?
You want to hear this? Here, say that again. Say that again about John.
You kind of look like Thor.
You look like. Yeah.
I can summon all sorts of weapons at will.
Nice. Very nice.
Thank you,
Travis left. Travis left. Well, I didn't say. Oh well, Travis, my buddy. Hold on one second, guys. I don't know. Did anybody have any like moments of horribleness at Gen Con that they wanted to talk about?
Oh, I had a pretty terrible Saturday. We were running a 3-man crew, and my brother-in-law ended up having to go home, so we had to go down to a 2-man crew. And then all of our sound files for our micro SD, because we shot over 100 videos at Gen Con, they all got deleted.
That sucks.
So we had to drop $90 to get a program to fix it, and we lost like 3 to 4 hours, and yeah, it was pretty stressful. So I just got really drunk.
See, you could have just cut out the middleman and just not done any of that, like I did. Like I did like 1 or 2 videos, and I was like, you know what, this isn't fun. I'm just gonna stop. And then I just wandered and had fun and just relaxed and enjoyed myself. But
yeah, but I gotta try and get bigger, so I gotta do something unique, do something different. So
we have but Eddie already does all of those, like all of the videos. And what's the other, like, Covert or whatever, or I don't know what it is, like some other
Team
group.
Covenant.
Team Covenant. That's right.
Yeah, but they don't have the enthusiasm. They're not excited. You gotta bring that. You gotta pump it up. Plus, it's just an excuse to go to Gen Con and get drunk, so that makes me happy.
Forrest, how many did you end up with at the end? That sucks, man.
Oh, we were able to get all the files back. I think we're gonna hit about 110. Like,
okay, you broke your 108 goal.
Yeah, we broke the goal. We're gonna be fine on that. It's just I was shooting for bigger numbers, and what we put up, we've already got some good buzz going. So I think I've got like 30 more to put up over the next week.
I've been watching them, so.
And good for you.
Yeah,
I just, ugh.
Yeah, I do miss
effort.
I do miss not working at Gen Con. That would be a lot of fun just to not work.
Well, I'm glad somebody's out there doing it. So, because there's obviously a what's we're looking for here, a need or a want for it, I guess, should be a way to put it. So there you go.
I saw Fantasy Flight had a sign up that the fire department shut down their line because of people, I guess. Did it feel that crowded?
Well, it was the way that it wrapped around, it went too far. It like went back and out of the room, and so it was actually impeding the ability for people to actually get through the place. So, and that's why they had to shut that down. So I don't think it had anything to do with like the number of people. I mean, they had a lot of people, but I think it was like the way that it was like the direction and stuff that it was going was the problem.
It was only a matter of time. Last year it was ridiculous, the lines around Fantasy Flight. So I imagine it's only going to grow, especially with all the mergers and companies they've taken over in the last year. So it's only a matter of time. But, I mean, I guess good for them, right?
And Asmodee has the line issue now, too. So you've got Paizo, Fantasy Flight, and Asmodee all with the enclosed store, which is making things take a lot longer overall.
Yeah.
Games Workshop too. I think John could probably attest to that. They should not be backed by the.
What the hell were they doing in Entrepreneur's Alley?
Yeah, that was annoying as hell because we started our interviews back there and I was like, why is there a giant line already?
I'm sure Tom thought it was for him, but.
Can I tell you that I didn't mind at all?
Oh yeah, I guess that is true because you get the rub off there. I don't think that's the right phrase. I'm tired.
What did people think of Fancy Flight's releases this year? Wasn't that kind of underwhelming, given it's the 20th?
Yeah, from what I hear,
it's the 20th year.
Yeah, I gave you my opinion.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do Warhammer Quest proper?
Don't even get me started. I mean, I wasn't in the room, but I hear it was one of those things where they were like, and the other big release is Warhammer Quest. It was like, yeah, the card game.
Last year at the In-Flight, when they announced Imperial Assault, that room went nuts. And this year they had a bigger room, a lot more people, and they announced their 3 new games, and it was just like crickets. There was like polite, just. I mean, it just nobody cared.
What's up with all the
They're all reprints, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What's up with all the Euro reprints?
Well, they're going to reprint Runebound. They're going
these
to.
are all new games, right? But they're tweaked.
Yeah, and they're going to reprint Fury of Dracula.
Right.
And they're going to.
Mission Red Planet.
Mission Red Planet, and then Warhammer Quest, the card game. And it's just like. Don't they? I mean, maybe who knows? Who knows with the contracts and everything and what have you? But I mean, they have to know that like if they actually did Warhammer Quest, it's a license to print money.
It would be huge.
And do it the Fantasy Flight way. I mean, slowly but surely trickle out the expansions and make a ton of money off of it. Yeah, I mean,
isn't that still what's it called?
And I realize they probably have a problem
like these games, right?
Well, I think what it is that obviously it's like they don't want to compete against themselves with Descent.
That's what it is. Well, I think Games Workshop doesn't want to compete with themselves.
Well, yeah, but Fantasy Flight purchased the rights to that stuff. Or they have the licensing or whatever.
Role-playing and card games, I think.
Yeah, they do split that up weird.
Yeah, so...
Relic. I mean, isn't that a board game?
It is.
And it's got minis.
But everything they've done with a board game has been 40K, not Warhammer, I think.
Fantasy.
Yeah.
It was the first fantasy one, right?
And they just relaunched their fantasy miniatures, so maybe they're afraid it's going to compete with that. I don't know. Who knows? I think the big news for Fantasy Flight's the stuff they couldn't talk about yet. It'll be the stuff.
Anybody demo of Fury of Dracula? Nobody demo. Was it up for demo?
Yeah, it was.
I'm just wondering if they fixed it at all.
I've not played the first one to be able to give you a comparison, even if I had demoed the second.
The combat system is just slow and plodding.
I heard they did change that up a little bit.
That's good. I mean, I love that game. It's one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, you put it perfectly though. It's like the tracking Dracula down and Dracula trying to escape and is the best part of the game. When you actually do track Dracula down and fight, it's like I described it as you're throwing gravel in the well-oiled gears of the machine and just watching everything just grind, and you can just watch like gears and pistons flying out of it as things just go bad. Okay, so what did you play? Oh, I played Hypnotic Gaze. Okay, I played Garlic. Okay, well, it's a replay. Okay, let's pick a new one. It's just like
That's what I was hoping they just fix that.
it should have just been roll a die, and
Roll
figure it
dice,
out.
roll off.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what they should do. I mean, not that I'm a game designer, but like you could have the same thing. You could have your two different weapons. You could have vampire. You're going to use fangs, and the other person's going to use the cross, and then you could compare them, and then you'd have a graph, and then say the fangs get a D8 and the cross gets a D6, and you roll, and then I won.
Just do the delta or something.
Yeah, there you go. But,
Yeah.
and that's why. Then again, I'm not a game designer, so what do I know?
The combat system was just tedious.
Oh, and then we lost Forrest. I wasn't paying any attention. Oh, bye. Oh, I feel
Did
bad.
anybody play Apocalypse Chaos?
I did not.
Nothing. I can't find anything on that game.
I saw it, and I was just kind of like, well, whatever.
I have to go watch back.
I always wonder how do some of the games that get published though? I mean, they were trying to push the couple times I went over to the Asmodee booth and I was talking to a few of the people that I know. It's okay. It's weird, and I'm going to say this, and this is I don't know. I might burn a bridge here, but that's fine. I'm going to say it. It's like one of those things where it's like there are people that I talk to in the biz, if you will, that that are publishers or work for a big company, and I'll just flat out say, between you and me, give me your honest opinion. What's your thought of this? And then they'll never come out and say that it isn't a good game, but they'll say it isn't a game you'd like, or they'll say it's it's a lighter game, or they'll say, oh, this one's really geared towards a 2-player family or something like that. It's one of those things, and and so I can kind of get that, but. A lot of times, especially with the Asmodee booth, the people that I talked to, really nice people, really awesome people. It was just they were trying to talk up these games that I looked at them and I was looking at the games. I was like, this doesn't look good at all. They had that weird 2-player combat Star game or something. What was the name of it? I forget what it was called. Starfighter. And they were and I might have had 3 separate people talk that game up to me. Incredibly, oh yeah, this is our brand new thing. It's all this, and it's really cool. And I was looking at that, and I was like, no, I don't know. I mean, and I'm sure it has its fans and everything like that. But I mean, I always wonder how games like that get published, or is it one of those things where is it you've already put so much money and development into it, you just need to get some sort of return on it? At some point, or I don't know. I'll throw it out there for anybody else's opinion. So.
Well, you got to remember these games are 3 years old, right? As well, so things may evolve when that game was signed or whatever. And that even may be older than that.
Well, I mean, was it? Did it get published? It's in a Starry game, which also kind of made me go, well, it's kind of weird because it doesn't have a YS in the in the name. But
honestly, that game did. I mean, that game looked fine to me. I mean, did you try it or?
Well, no. I mean, I kind of just took a look at it, but
it wasn't appealing. It didn't have.
From what I saw, the actual the look of the game was it just wasn't really appealing for a game about being in space and dueling in space. It didn't look nice, the actual game on the back, from what I saw, and it just I don't know. It didn't look good. It just I knew nothing about it, but it was I've got enough 2-player games that sit on my shelf and gather dust. I don't need another one. So, which is what this would definitely be, and eventually it'd be just something I give to somebody, just to get it off my shelf. And maybe it would have been awesome. Maybe the game's amazing, and because I didn't play it, I'm totally screwing myself out of a great time. But it's more often than not, my gut feeling on games usually is true.
It's got some good ratings.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just didn't have shelf appeal, right? Like if it was more fancy space battles. I mean, it's two giant ships fighting each other, but you don't actually see the ships. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking here, and I'm looking at Board Game Geek and looking at the ratings, and the one person whose opinion I trust on there, he's Adam West. Give it a 6.
Batman.
So yeah, Adam West. Adam West is one of the nicest guys you will ever meet in the business, and he's designed some pretty amazing games. And I still kick myself that I traded away Galactic Emperor. I've been trying to I need to replace that game. And get it back. It's weird. It's a weird Puerto Rico hybrid in space. But he had a really successful Kickstarter for Wizards of the Wild, which was a really, really good game, and I'm looking forward to actually seeing that come out again. I'm just talking to myself at this point. So, but
did you guys happen to see the game Monarch?
No, but it's going crazy on the hotness on the old BGG.
Yeah,
So,
at our booth.
I've been talking to Mary about it, and as soon as she gets a printed copy, I should have one in the mail, is what she's telling me. So, I mean, I got to play it. It was really fun. So it's really simple, too, because you just harvest your apples, and then you trade apples in to feed the people, and then they pay you gold and taxes, and then you pay the gold to buy upgrades for the town, and then as the town upgrades, you make more and more money as you're playing it.
But you can still screw your neighbor.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all for that. I'm all for
It's
backstabbing.
semi-co-op, right? So you have to work together some way, and then also.
If somebody upgrades a piece of property, you can take the rewards for it. So if they upgrade one of the plots that gives more apples, then when you go to collect the apples, it actually gives you that number as well. So everybody's building the same plot.
Did you working together on the same?
Yeah. So it's everybody's working on the same map.
But if
you're
you don't have any
competing.
of another one, you can cover one of the plots that someone else is using.
Yeah, so it takes away their points. So if they're with the yellow faction and they're going to get a bonus for yellow faction, and you put a blue upgrade on there, they're going to lose that. They're going to lose that bonus that they would have gotten originally for having that color. So, and I built. She said that we had really high scores. Anna had a 49, and I had a 48 in points. But I only built with one faction, where her and one of the guys that was showing us at the booth was building it with multiple factions. So you can go with one faction, or you can try and split it up with 2 or 3 factions, and still get points and stuff.
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it did. So.
Well, I also noticed at the booth they kept telling everyone who demoed to go over and do the Board Game Geek voting thing, and I think that since they were in location, I know everyone can do that, but they were close in proximity, so I think that had a big advantage for them too.
Yeah, because the booth was 10 feet away from the Board Game Geek booth, so it was just convenient enough for them to go vote on it from right there.
But not to discern that they were good games.
People like the game. I mean, I feel like any publisher should say, if you like the game, go to the Board Game booth and rate it, right, or thumb it up. But I think a lot of publishers don't know about Geek Buzz.
Right.
So we have to educate a little better.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
She was talking. I actually found out about the game by going over to one of those the speed date things, because a friend of ours, she published stuff through Get Bussin' Games, and Lisa Steenson, she actually owns it, but she took me over there, thinking that maybe some interviews or something would be kind of nice to learn about some new games that are coming and trying to get published or whatever. And that's how I found out about Monarch. I didn't even know anything about it, but I saw it, and I was really interested in the theme because I'm a big. It has nothing to do with Game of Thrones, but it had that feel of it, so that's why I was really interested in looking at it.
got the backstabby kind of. You're all daughters of a queen or something.
Yeah. What is it? The queen passes, and you're
the queen's
all.
dying, and you're trying. All your sisters are trying to fight to prove that you can run the kingdom the best.
Yeah, wooing over the people.
Which I think is pretty cool, having a game dynamic where you play as a woman no matter what.
Yeah.
I think that's unique.
Yeah, she said there was some guys who have problems with that. She was an interesting person to talk to, actually. Someone should interview her, whoever is looking to find an interview. She's kind of a newcomer to the board game industry. She's been in video games for a long time.
Yeah.
Mary Flanagan?
Yeah.
I thought she was quite well known. When she was on the live feed, when she was on the live feed, Adam was interviewing her, and he didn't kind of recognize her or anything, and the chat room went kind of, but it's Mary Flanagan, don't you know who she is?
Right, so she's kind of unknown, right?
Yeah.
She's super nice.
I didn't mean newcomer. It's a newcomer to us. Like, I think she's been in the gaming industry for a long time, but no one really knows who she is in our world, right?
So, Ali, you did the Geek Buzz slightly differently this year, or allowed it to be done slightly differently this year by having the people allowed to vote externally. Were you able to register how the votes came in, where they came from, to see kind of what the split was?
You know what? I didn't put that in there. That would have been a good thing to find out. I wonder if I can go back and look at the records and see.
Because I mean that was one of the things that happened with Monarch being close by and Action Phase being close by. People were saying, yeah, but it's because they're close by, and everybody else is saying, yeah, but they're doing the Buzz differently this year, where you can register from afar. So
yeah, we gave out cards that had a QR code that you can just zap with your phone, and it'll take you right to the page.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know about those.
Yeah, we used to run it where you had to actually physically go to the booth. And this year, I guess, is the first year we've done it at Gen Con. We did it at Spiel last year, where you could do it with your phone. Yep, there you go.
Okay, cool.
Now,
it would have been smart of me to actually record if it was a remote phone thing or something from our... I could probably check IP addresses or something, because we had a static IP in our booth.
Right.
That would require me to actually, like, write some code.
Do you find the numbers for that growing with the con growing?
I didn't look. But probably. It felt busier this year. It felt like people were more... Like, Gen Con kind of doesn't get it yet. So it's a hard sell. So, like, hey, do you want to... like, we're having to proactively try to get people to do it. Whereas at Essen, it's just, like, nonstop.
They love it there.
Yeah. Whereas Gen Con, it's like, people walk by with a sideways glance, like, what the hell is that? But I think, because Essen Spiel always had fair play ratings. Like, that was very popular in the past decade. And we did something, basically a more modern version of fair play ratings, where you don't have to be a subscriber. Good luck.
Okay. Yeah.
So Lance, what was your game of the con?
I don't like games.
No, I didn't think you did.
Code names and no. Mafia de Cuba is a very, very good game.
What game most surprised you? Put it that way.
Time Stories. Basically because the guy Sean, the guy who used to run Snakes and Lattes, was there for Asmodee, and I went to the Playmania event and I sat down and I was like, all right, so what's this one? And I sat down. I think it was my wife and I. Well, I know it was my wife and I. And then I think it was Charles Steele. If you know who he is, he's a reviewer. And we sat down for the Playmania event, and I was like, so what's it all about? And Sean said, it's revolutionary. And I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. Yeah, you hear, this game's revolutionary, and you're like, all right, whatever, okay, we'll sit down and play. But I'll be damned if that game isn't. I mean, if I wanted to be a cynic and be pessimistic, I could say it's not revolutionary because the mechanisms are the same. But it really does a lot of things that surprised me. And if you don't mind, I'll bore everybody for a few minutes and I'll say exactly what it is. So, Time Stories is like kind of a mix between like Quantum Leap and Time Cop. Like all the people are members of this like this Time Cop type of like corporation or security force, and you get sent back in time to a place where they say there's going to be like a time distortion, and if it isn't stopped, then the world will end or whatever. And so like you quantum leap, if you've watched the show, you actually like go back in time and you inhabit the body of a person in that time around where this time distortion is going to happen, and then you and the other people like slowly try to figure out what's going on and what's the problem. Now the big thing here is like when Sean was showing us the game, like he didn't play, he just kind of facilitated it, and he just said, we kind of said, I said, so what do we do? And he was like, well, he's like, you can choose to invest. They put out these cards, and the cards have art on them, so like when you put them together, they form a picture in the line, and it's the room you're in. And so then you, as a player, pick which spot in the room you want to go and interact with, basically. And you can go with other players, you can go by yourself, or whatever. You can't leave the room unless everybody goes with. You got to all stay together. And so you go to the spot, and then wherever you go, you turn the card over, and if you're in that spot, you get to look at the card. You don't read it out loud or anything like that. The other people in other spots, they get their own card, but like it can give you some information as to where you are and what's going on. And sometimes it'll be like a skill test where you have to like roll dice depending upon what your character's abilities are. So like if you have a strong person, you'll be good at like tests that have to do with your strength. And like if you're very smart, pretty straightforward. But the whole thing of the game is that you really have no idea why you're there. There isn't like, oh yes, the time distortion is right here, and you need to make it there, and you have to do this, that, and the other thing. It's literally an open like sandbox that you will go through, and the mechanism of the game is that because you only have a certain amount of time that you can be in the past, kind of like 12 Monkeys in a way too. I just realized that too. It's like they can bring you back, and what happens is that you'll use up your time, and when your time runs out, you don't lose. You just get reset to the very beginning of the entire situation of where you started off. But you lose all any equipment or anything that you found along the way, but you keep your information, what you've learned. And I kind of likened it to when you were a kid. If you read Choose Your Own Adventure books, like you'd save the spots, like so you could go back and go a different path and see what would happen otherwise. And so the whole thing is that the game it tells like a really really cool mystery. Like the one we did, we were all in an asylum. We were inmates of this like asylum, and there was all these really weird things going on all over the place. We thought we saw like strange creatures running around outside. There were like inmates that were like that were tied to beds that said that that said that they knew they were from the future and they had been captured and they're somebody's gonna kill them and things like that, and you're like, well, is this another team, a member of that team or whatever, and like just all kinds of crazy stuff that go on, and it was very very intriguing. And the whole thing is that once obviously you solve the mystery, that particular mystery won't really, you'll know exactly what you have to do and what's going on and what the background is and why exactly you're there. But like the base game, I think, if I remember correctly, is going to come with 2 or 3 different adventures, and then they're going to do the expandable card, living card game thing, where they'll release one every 3 months or so, which will have brand new cards and what have you. Sean said that it takes about 10 hours of gameplay to defeat or get to the bottom of the mystery of each of those things. And we're like, well, 10 hours. He's like, well, theoretically you could hardcore it and get through it, right? But most people, he said, will there's a like save your status process that you can do instead. You can just, okay, well, we got this far, and you can save where you've been and come back to it. And I don't know, Time Stories was, I mean, it's the one game that I keep thinking about after Gen Con. I mean, it's the mechanism of it is just, put your pawn here and you have a resource you have to manage. Your resource is time. And so, but it has its problems. I mean, it isn't really a game, so to speak, because it's a co-op. Yeah, it's an experience game. You're not doing it to like, oh my gosh, can we, try to defeat it? I think also I'd be really annoyed if like, basically like you'll run into something and it's like, oh, here's your test. You need to pick this lock or something. And, oh, I need to roll these dice, and then you have to get that done. And each time you try it, it costs you time. And then the problem I have with that is that if you roll poorly, then you just lose time, and then it's just kind of like, well, why am I even bothering to roll the dice at this point? It should just be kind of like a deterministic thing, instead of having to roll the dice for that. Because, I know me. And it's going to be one of those things where I'm like, well, so let me get this straight. I would have solved the mystery if I just rolled a 3 instead of a 2. Well, I'm not going to restart the whole thing and go back to the beginning and go through this process to get to there again. I'm just going to say I rolled a 3, because it just doesn't matter. So, I mean, because like all you said, it's an experience. And so you just, that's kind of
probably hard code the die. It's only a 2 or 3, right? Did have a 1 on there as well.
Yeah, if I remember correctly. And then the other thing I worry about just a little bit is, like the only thing that you really would be competing is like the number of times you had to like reboot, and like the better you do at that, technically the better you are at the game. But it's like a choose your own adventure book. You want to read every single path. You want to read every single thing. I mean, you'd be cheating yourself out of enjoyment if you didn't like go down each rabbit hole. If you didn't search out every single red herring or whatever. And because that was like one of the best parts when we played it was like we got to actually do a reboot because nobody else was waiting to play the game, and so we knew that there was this item we had to get. I don't want to give anything away because this is like the base one you get with. We knew there was an item that you had to get because we ran into this guy that said he needed it, and if he got it, he could show us his secret. And we're like, okay, so we knew where, and so then we knew where it was, but we couldn't get back there in time to give it to him. So we hightailed to that spot. We got the item. We ran over to the other guy and got there with just enough time. We gave him the item, but the guy was it was a red herring. It was a dead end. But it was hilarious, because the guy was like he was crazy. He didn't have a secret at all or whatever. It was just I'm not going to give anything away. And for us it was like yeah it was
same experience you just described.
Yeah, we had a very grown. Yeah, it was a very groan-worthy moment, but it intrigued me. I mean, it was like I was like, oh, okay, you got me, game, and so yeah, I mean, it's. I'm excited to see it.
From your description of it, it kind of reminds me of the gameplay within Tragedy Looper.
It has a little bit of that. Yeah, I mean, a little bit.
Scenario.
I had a couple people compare it to Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective too, and I can see inklings there.
So Lance, I don't think we've seen everything that game can do. Like, I think that first scenario is just like that introductory, like this is how you play the game, and here's a mystery. But I've heard a couple details that like make me very excited.
Yeah.
For future, like decks, right, of expansions.
Yeah. See, the thing is that I mean, and maybe I'm jaded or whatever, but I mean, it's been a while since I've been really excited about a game, but I'm really excited for Time Stories. I want. This is a game that I want to sit down and play with my
So
wife.
when you guys
and
played,
just
did you
figure
like
it out.
really immerse yourself in with the communication stuff, where you like didn't show the card to the other players? That
Yep,
weren't there?
we didn't show the card. We had to describe it, and just like we bought into the whole thing.
So we had a very
And-
interesting scenario come up there, and I probably shouldn't even say anything, but just because one person in our group saw this particular card that was like so important, and you probably know what it is, but I'm not going to say anything, and then it was never communicated to us. So we're like, what the heck is going on? So we had to like backtrack and like try to find this, more clues, and finally we had to restart just to find that clue. Right? It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But like the whole like, don't just show people the card. You describe it to them.
Yeah, that's true. I had a couple people like mention what was the Cuba game. Just so that you understand what the Cuba Mafia de Cuba was. It comes in a cigar box, and that's like the actual box is a prop for the game, and then one person is the mob boss, and they put there's a bunch of tokens in there that are the different roles that the people will play, and then there is a then there's a certain number of diamonds that the Godfather puts into it. They have to, so it isn't a static number. And then they take that cigar box, and then thematically the Godfather is called away from the table for a brief moment. That's the idea of it. And then each person then takes the cigar box, and it goes around the table, and they open it up, and they like take something out of the cigar box, whether it's diamonds or a roll and all these different things, and then they literally like then put that stuff in their pocket, and so I guess if you're not wearing pants, you can't play the game, but so and then it goes around the table, and so like basically the first person has all the information in front of them. They know how many diamonds are in there. They have all the rolls. And then they pick that stuff. And then the next person has slightly less information. The next person has slightly less, and so on and so forth until it gets to the last person. And then they probably have like they have the least amount of information because they have no idea what was in there to begin with. But the last person has a wonderful decision where they can choose not to take anything at all out of the box. And then pick to be a street urchin or whatever role, because there's all the different roles like CIAs or FBI agents and things like that. And then after that's all done, the Godfather then opens up the box. He sees that his diamonds are gone, or some of the diamonds are gone, or whatever, and then he has to figure out who amongst his he or she has to figure out who amongst their loyal group is can they trust, or is an FBI agent or somebody who's looking out to assassinate him or whatever. And it's a very it's a neat spin on the whole negotiation secret role thing, because it's like a buddy of mine said, it was like I finally actually get to pick whether or not I'm a Cylon, which is kind of neat. You can make that choice and decide, and it's rather ingenious actually in a lot of ways. So I was pretty excited about it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a neat game because you could figure out some people are lying right off the get-go, but you don't know what their motivation for lying is. And if you just go at it, if I know you're lying, you've got to be a thief. Nope, he was the FBI agent, and the FBI agent just won.
Because if you accuse the FBI agent or the CIA agent of stealing, regardless of whether or not they stole, they win.
They can't steal because you can only take a roll or diamonds.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, sorry, there you go. But I mean, yeah, so you have to like pick and choose, and then there's a lot of different roles and abilities and things like that make the game a lot of fun. So, and that's an Essen release, right?
I don't know when it's coming out.
Well, it was weird because they had production copies there.
They had production copies online. The estimates release is September, so we'll see.
Good.
And there's also expansion already planned or in the works, basically done for it.
Of course there is.
Because if you look inside your box lid where it shows your gameplay summary, it advertises the expansion right next to what the roles are. So.
Awesome.
With that said, I'm going to head to bed, and I'll see everyone later. I'm going to share my favorite piece of swag from Gen Con, which is my Imperial Settler shirt.
And those are going to go on sale for real. Like,
I think they eventually will be going on sale for real.
Yeah, I think Ignacy
September,
said, yeah. So, but then it won't be cool anymore to have one. So there'll be no reason.
Mine was a gift, so.
Well,
did you back the Age of Empires reprint or whatever it's called? I don't know what they call it.
No, I don't know.
The box is huge.
Oh, the Discoveries?
Tall, 8 inches thick. About that thick.
Oh, your wife been telling you stories again? That's the Discoveries?
Is that what they called it? I can't remember.
Oh, not Discoveries. It was called, I'm thinking that's a different game. I know what you're talking about, the Glenn Drover game, right?
Glenn Drover's Age of something.
Age of Discoveries, I think it's
Discovery.
called.
It's massive.
So you must have got yours, is what you're trying to say?
I did. I got it today. I was wondering if anybody else got it.
I thought about backing that, but
into the peanuts and the styrofoam, and I'm like, this box is really thick.
That's not a box.
That's no box.
Nice.
I wasn't gonna grab it. I'll show you. Hold on.
I don't want you to grab it and show me. What are you talking about? Put it away. Nice. Robin, how's the crazy Europe?
Crazy Europe is crazy. It's like lots of crazy stuff going on. Actually, it's pretty quiet at the moment. And everybody's on holiday.
You got anybody with a pellet gun and a hatchet attacking people in a movie theater?
No, they tend not to do that over here. You know. It's slightly more mellow. There's loads of people trying to invade England from France at the moment. But
trying to invade England? What?
Yeah, loads of people who've, I guess they're.
Haven't they learned that ever since the Germans? It just doesn't work.
There's lots of people that come from Africa and through Europe, and then they try and get across. Anyway, Al is showing us something much more interesting.
What are they? What are they? What, Scott, there we go.
Yes. It's pretty unreal.
Hmm. That's almost a Cthulhu Wars. It's almost like Cthulhu Wars size.
Speaking of which,
pretty close.
Did anybody get a copy of Cthulhu Wars?
Well, I have one.
Did you? Okay, so did anybody have to? Did you have to back it to get one?
Well, I did a review for them, so they sent me a copy.
Oh, okay.
I backed the Kickstarter.
Well, I just got excited about it because you guys just said Cthulhu Wars, and he gave me one of the demo copies at Gen Con for me to do a review for.
Yeah, Sandy Peterson is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your life. So.
Yeah, because he was like, "Hey, you can just have one of these." I was like, "Oh, sweet." So, and I got to talk to both of the brothers, so that was kind of cool.
Lincoln and I can't remember the other guy's name offhand now.
Yeah.
But also
Arthur.
super nice guys.
Was it Arthur?
Maybe, I don't know.
Arthur and Lincoln.
No, really cool people. I don't know. I mean, it seemed like Gen Con was a lot of fun, but I mean, it was like I kept on waiting. I also kept on waiting to see if I'd find a game in the rough, and I never did. It was weird. Usually I find like some diamond in the rough game, and it just didn't happen this year either. I did get I grabbed God, I can't even think now. New Salem. Somebody said New Salem's really good, and I want to give that one a try. If you guys haven't heard of that, Hit and Roll from Otherworld, from the same guy who made Bombers and Traders or whatever, or Cops and Robbers or whatever. Yeah, good cop, bad cop. Thank you. I'm excited to give that one a try. And I want to play Village Crone. I've heard it's kind of light, but
Yeah, it looks fun.
It looks interesting. I mean, obviously, Blood Rage was excellent, and the miniatures for that are over the top, crazy good.
Did anybody play the Five Tribes expansion?
I don't know. You're talking to the wrong guy there. Five Tribes is one of those games that, like I said, after like the third play, I was like, well, I never need to play this again.
Yeah, we talked about that at the con.
Yeah.
You didn't like it. You wanted to, but it was.
Yeah, you were done with it.
Became unfun or something.
Well, Keith's no longer here, but Keith had a great line about it. He said, "That is a great game if I want to sit there and watch my friends decide what they want to do."
Yeah.
I mean, after you realize that it's just a puzzle, that you're trying to figure out to like maximize points, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It just it just isn't fun anymore. I mean, it just I don't know. It just a perfect game of that genre. With two?
Yeah.
No, I have more friends than you, so I don't have to play with two.
Yeah. But I played it with two, and I think it's perfectly enjoyable as a two-player game because there isn't that much downtime when you're playing just the two. Obviously, if you've got 4 people around the table or whatever playing it, then there is going to be the downtime. So.
And you get 2 turns as playing 2-player, but you don't alternate. Or no, you have to bid for it, so then you can take
for it
in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that we play it with 2 players a lot because we don't. For some reason, our group can't get together because everybody works out of state, but they live here. So it's like playing a 2-player is kind of nice, and seems to be different than playing it with 4 people.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about the Barry 10. Barry.
Oh jeez. All right. So, did you guys hear? Do you guys like Star Trek?
I'm sorry. What? Use guys? What?
Yeah, fuck you. I'm from Philly. Anyway, yeah, Star Trek.
Yeah.
I heard Gale Force 9 got the license, which kind of surprised me because I thought WizKid was locked into that. I'm interested to see what they do with it.
That's one of those weird things I think where WizKids has like the rights to the miniatures and miniature gaming, but the board game and whatever is kind of open or something. I might be talking on my ass, but
the 5-year mission. Sorry, I shouldn't talk over Barry.
No, good. No, good. I was actually going to ask
you talk about Star Trek. I wanted to try the 5-year mission, but I didn't get a chance to. Anybody play that?
I heard that it was just a game with a slapped-on Star Trek theme, but
bummer.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's like those thematic games that are supposed to be based on really respected or established themes just don't seem to be really hitting really well. I mean, I realize that the Star Wars Descent is kind of like a license to print money, but I mean, I don't know. Anyway, go ahead, Barry.
Lance, when are you going to review, a non-Kickstarter game?
Next question. Soon, actually. I'm gonna this Friday. They may not look like my classic reviews, but this Friday I'm going over to a buddy's house, and there's a group of us, and we're gonna start tearing through my GenCon stuff, and we're gonna do I don't know what I have to come up with a clever name for it, but it's just gonna be like a GenCon release, in-game review kind of thing.
Quick hit.
Well, yeah, I don't have a name for it. I mean, I do. I stole with permission the whole in-play review from Scott Nicholson. He with his grace allowed me to do it, and so when I go to Gen Con and I sit there and I play 15 games, I do a little in-play review after most of them. And so what I'm going to do kind of the same thing where we're going to sit down and me and my buddies are going to sit down and we're going to play a Gen Con release that I got, and then I'm going to give my impression, everybody else can give their impression, and that'll be that. So I don't know, as far as like a big long review, I mean, like I classically do. I don't know. I if like Blood Rage probably. I mean, if it if it holds up over the next like 4 or 5 plays. What?
It was a Kickstarter.
Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Well, shut your mouth.
You're hard pressed to find a game that's not been on Kickstarter.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I mean, I'll do a review of Ashes. I mean, obviously. I mean, it's just because I have a feeling, and I hate to say this, I have a feeling that after like 4 or 5 plays, that one's gonna turn on me, and I'm not gonna like it. So it's been a while since I've negatively reviewed a game that everybody loves, and that's always fun to get the emails after the fact. But so yeah, I don't know. It's just gotta be something that grabs a hold of me, and we'll go from there. That's a really good question. It's something that I want to do, but I mean, it's just like there is a market for people that want a review of their game for Kickstarter, and I'm lucky enough that people ask me to do it, and I like doing them. I mean, I like looking at a brand new game. I mean, like literally, there's something really exciting. I did a review just recently. It just went up today, actually, for a game called Directive Invasion, and I feel bad because the guy is like, I guess he says he's submitted it to BGG and it's been stuck in the queue and he hasn't been able to. And this is like it's a really, really good game. And I was really surprised at how much fun it had. Like about a year ago or whatever, that Conquest of Earth or whatever from Flying Frog. And there was like you were playing the aliens or whatever, trying to blow up the world or whatever. And I thought that was a really cool idea, but I just didn't like that game. It didn't feel right. But this game called like Directive Invasion, it was basically each person is a alien race, and like as it's ridiculous to think this would happen, but somehow like all these alien races show up at Earth at the exact same moment. And they are trying to take over the planet, and so you kind of create the board with all these these different hex cardboard pieces, and then you and the other people like start basically warring over Earth and trying to be the one that actually gets to be the one that takes it over, if you will. And it's kind of neat because it's like you can destroy things. You can destroy cities and monuments and things like that, and you can get points for those. But if you can actually like capture them and use them, then like you get more points for those. And so it lasts a certain number of turns. It lasts 12 turns, and then so you don't really score any points until the 12th turn, and whatever you're controlling and whatever you've done, because like when you blow something up, you actually use like a destruction marker that has your color, so it maintains that. So, but like you don't know, like there's a lot of the victory points are in contention until the very last moment. And there's this really cool, this is one of the things I really liked about it. The timer for the thing is this resistance deck of like the humans, and so you take a card and you flip it over and it has some sort of effect. Like it might say like humans like start banding together against you. All troops, all alien troops have -1 to their attack or whatever. And so then it's just this thing that affects everything. But you have a power that you can use. All the aliens can do this. They can try to ally themselves with humans or try to basically subvert them. And then they take they have these resistance cards themselves, and then you get to shuffle that into the deck of this timer deck. And if your card comes over, instead of like a human resistance deck, you like get some bonus to your armies, because of the fact that you've ingratiated yourself with the human race, and so like they're trying to help you. And I really like that. And plus, you can also, for that same purpose, instead of trying to ally them with it, you can try to actually try to subject or try to overpower the humans, by whatever mind control or whatever. And if you do that, you flip a card over early, And so, like, if you think that you're in like a really good position where you've got a lot of victory points and you got more than anybody else, you can start using that action. You can only do it once each turn, but you can start, and so you can kind of speed the game up towards the end. And so there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, it's like, the prototype I have, obviously was like, the art wasn't completely finished or anything like that, but it's a lot of fun, and it's he just started off on his thing, and I hope he can pull it off. But that game was a lot of fun. But like, that's what I like about Kickstarter things, is that game wouldn't even exist. I mean, it wouldn't even be out there if that guy didn't go the Kickstarter route. I would have never played that game if it wasn't for the fact that guy contacted me and asked me if I'd be interested in taking a look at it, and that's really dig it. I mean, like Cults of Cthulhu, it's the one that I did about a week ago, and that's like he's he tried to get it done once and it didn't go through, and he kind of went back and he did it. That's a great Arkham horror, like kind of like a single mission type game with a hidden traitor. The one person's like Cthulhuite, if you will. I mean, that was a really awesome game. And he's like well on his way to funding. Once again, another game that was like, it probably would never have gotten published if it hadn't been for that. And I got one right now that I was working on the video before I did this. It was for basically two groups of like fairly it was fantastic. I mean, like, it wasn't like classic ships or whatever, like Age of Sail, but then these are like, two rival factions, but they're like basically Age of Sail type battles or whatever, and like there's a grid for combat, and it's called Winds of Fortune, which is a fantastic 2-player game. But once again, I would never have played it if it wasn't for the fact that somebody didn't have a dream.
You like being on the cutting edge, I think. That's your thing. You're seeing stuff before everybody else does. You're kind of like out there in front.
Well, I do like that, but I mean, the thing is that, like you said yourself, nothing. I mean, most things go through Kickstarter now, unless you're a big giant established company. Yeah, I mean, and even sometimes big giant established companies do it anyway. Because the money's there. And so it's.
Can you fact check for me real quick this game?
What?
The entry that the guy put in is terrible. It's 2 sentences of the game. Like, I don't understand this. I'm gonna rant. Publishers, you could write more than 2 goddamn sentences about your game. Please. Anyway.
Well, I mean, and that might be, and the thing is that the thing is that I guess I don't want to say anything, but I mean, he says it's been submitted and it's waiting, so I don't know anything.
It was submitted Monday, so that would be 2 days ago. Is it a dice rolling game?
Directive Invasion?
Yeah.
It has dice, yes.
Is it a dice rolling game?
No.
You don't roll dice. Okay. Is it a modular board?
It is a modular board.
Tile placement? Probably not. If it's a modular board, do you place the module?
Yeah, I mean, you put them out there. I mean, it's like you start with you can go on Kickstarter and you can find it. I mean,
just quick. All right, variable phase order, like Puerto Rico, where you do things.
No.
Damn it. Variable player powers. That's probably
yes, definitely.
Okay. Science fiction.
Oh yes.
Territory building.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll approve it. It's got 3 sentences. Hopefully he can get more. It just frustrates me sometimes. Like, if it's your baby, you don't write 3 sentences about it.
Well, and you know what?
To get it up as quick as possible, right?
And I can understand that. And the thing is that I think he is going to have to, take a step back and like probably restart his campaign. I mean, and I don't mean that negatively about what he's doing at all.
It needs to get out there more.
But I mean, I think he should let it run, and hopefully we can get like some groundswell for it, and because the game is
sounds cool.
It's amazing. I mean, that's the thing about it is and I'll tell that to anybody who'll listen to me. I've played this game 5 times with my gaming group, and I rarely play a Kickstarter game 5 times, and I try to get like 3 or 4 in, but I mean, like, we still wanted to play it again just because it's very contentious. It's right up my alley. I mean, and the thing is that you're fighting. You don't fight the humans. The humans aren't there I mean, you're blowing up their cities, you're blowing up the monuments. I mean, but you're not there to, you're there to terraform their world. You're there to put a outpost in their city so then you can take human beings and like what's called, I think it's called uplifting them, but basically you're altering their DNA and slapping cybernetics and things on them and turning them into armies for you, and so they'll go off and fight for you. I mean, it's just got all these wonderfully awesome thematic elements to it, and it's just it's just, I don't know, the game's just flat out fun. I mean, it just because of the fact that of all those things that you're doing as far as the different powers and the different things that you can do, and the different creatures that the different alien races. I mean, last time I played the bug race, and it's just and the names of the alien races are a little generic, but I mean, I played the bug race, and the bug race is cool because, you can, if they blow up a city, because of the fact that the bugs go in there, they're basically aliens. You get you get an army, because you've basically laid your eggs in the humans that you've killed, and then so you get an army, and I had a pretty good strategy with that, but then I got too powerful too quick, and then the other players just kind of ganged up on me, and because it's a game that you don't know, you don't score the points as you go, you only score the points at the very end of the game, and so other players can recognize that you're getting too powerful, you're getting too big, or you're going to have too many points, and so they'll gang up on you and just basically take all those points that you've earned away from you, and anyway, so yeah, I mean, if somebody's listening to this, and like I said, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, the artwork is not finalized or anything like that, but check out my video. The game is an absolute blast, and especially if you're a person that likes a thematic game, and I mean, this is definitely an Ameritrash game, but it's got some, but with the victory points and stuff like that, it has a little bit of Euro thrown in, but no, there you go. So I'm done about talking about that. I'm not going to go off on that any more than I already have. I just, like I said, I really want to see this game published. I want to see it with, the final art and all the other stuff. So
I just backed him. He's got a long way to go.
You know what? I think, but the game is so good. I mean, I sound like a total fanboy and really weird, but the game is so good that if there could be a groundswell or something like that, I mean, this is one of those things that it really is a ton of fun.
I think it's one of those. It's going to be one of those ones where the guy's going to have to put $500 into it to get art. Because the art, there's no art, right? It's just prototype.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just, it's one of those things. This is one of those things that I hate. It's just like some of the best games I've ever played didn't have super awesome art until it actually got published, and just the fickle nature of people that just oh, well, that doesn't look like it's professional, so it can't possibly be good. I mean, I've said repeatedly, yes, really nice art or really nice components can definitely add to the enjoyment of a game, but I mean, if a game's good, a game's good. I can play a game with stick figures and matchsticks, and if the game's fun, it'll still be fun. And I don't know, I think we pigeonhole ourselves way too much on production quality too many times. That being, I mean, I've definitely played a lot of really games that look absolutely beautiful that are just, and I don't, nothing to them. I mean, Abyss comes to mind. I mean, Abyss is one of the most beautiful games I've ever played in my life. I could not have been more bored of my 3 plays I had of that game than I did. It didn't do anything for me. So, meh. What do I know? And now somebody else can talk for 15 minutes.
Well, I've got another question about Kickstarter and GenCon, actually. Because one of the criticisms this year was that there seemed to be not much new original material coming out, and instead it was all Kickstarter stuff that had either been funded or was due to be funded. And so I was wondering, like, is that going to have at some point have an effect, especially with the size of GenCon, more people wanting to get in there, the problems with all that, and the fact that maybe one way to solve that is that GenCon up their prices. So then people wanting to run these small Kickstarters and get out there are going to have to be able to, or have to pay even more to get into GenCon. So is that going to end up having a negative effect on GenCon itself?
Well, I'll let somebody else answer the full thing, but here's my belief. I think that, and as early as next Gen Con, honestly, I think that we're going to get into a point where, there will be like the big three, and technically it's the big two. Well, actually, no, I'll say big three. There will be Yellow. There will be F2Z, Philosophia, and there will be Asmodee, and I'm talking about those and all their things underneath it. So Philosophia, it'll be Z-Man, and also Plaid Hat, and they're not done either. Philosophia, they have their eyes on other things as well, and then there will be Asmodee, and that includes Fantasy Flight, and then there will be like Yellow, who is still there, and and I don't know, who knows what anybody knows that what tells me, but like. The only reason that Yellow hasn't been like absorbed by the Borg that is Asmodee is that supposedly, if you believe the rumors that you hear, the CEO and creator of Yellow, absolutely hates Asmodee. I mean, which is like the only reason why, there's never been like a buyout even like thought of in that situation. But I mean, you're gonna have like these 3 or 4 giant companies, and they're going to be the only ones that are like really releasing games at Gen Con anymore, and everything else is going to be these companies that have got successful Kickstarters, and they have their Kickstarter that was maybe they're getting the games right before Kickstarter or whatever, but they aren't going to be releasing them there.
Ignacy, it'll be Portal, Tasty Minstrel. Those are like smallish mid companies, right?
But all of those people, and I can't speak for all of them, and I probably can't speak for any of them, honestly, because I'm not them. But I personally believe that it's money, and the thing is that if somebody walked up to Ignacy and said, hey, how about you not worry about distribution and production and marketing and all those other things, you just develop games, and we'll buy Portal for insert offer that he can't possibly refuse in cash here. You telling me those guys won't do it? I mean, nobody would have thought that Colby would have sold off Plaid Hat. Nobody. I mean, that was like out of left field. I mean, Plaid Hat was an incredibly established company that they were there and are doing very well. But what is it? I mean, it's like and I spoke to Colby, and he couldn't be happier with it. And the person I spoke to at Philosophia, I mean, she was like, and she was like whatever, director of marketing or whatever, public relations person, and admittedly, she could be lying to me, but I don't think she was. I mean, she was like, this is exactly what we want. We want their name, we want their brand. We don't want to change anything about them. We just want to make their lives easier so they can concentrate on what they're good at, which is making awesome games. And then we'll take care of the nuts and bolts and the dollars and cents. And go ahead.
That's what somebody was saying, that now Plaid Hat doesn't have to worry about the financial part of it. They can worry more on focusing and being more creative than what they already are.
Exactly.
Well, it wasn't even that. It's the day-to-day stuff. Like, I was talking to Isaac last year, and he said, he's customer service. He's, sending parts in and out, talking to people, trying to get the distribution out. So that was tying up both Colby and Isaac most of the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at Chris Kirkman and Christopher Bedell. I mean, it's like, and those two guys that I consider really good friends, and it's just like, and they've banded together, to create their little like dual company. But it's just like, I can't even imagine. I mean, how relieving, what a relief it would be, like, for you to just say, okay, it's like, Chris. I mean, I'm not saying he would ever do this, or this has even been bandied about, or even suggested. But if somebody stepped in and said, "Here's this giant sack of cash. You'll sell us your company, and now you don't have to worry about anything other than just making really, really awesome Sentinels of the multiverse products, and that's your job now." And now we're going to pay you a salary, so you don't even have to like worry about whether or not your Kickstarter does well or if you sell enough games. You're just going to have a paycheck every 2 weeks, and I think people forget about the fact that, like, a lot of these companies, yes, I mean, if they sell well and they do this, that, and the other thing, they're making money, but for the most part, it isn't like a job. It's like John said before he left, it's like, for the first time, in a long time, he's actually going to be able to pay himself money, and he's been running this company for like 2 years, and so I can't even imagine, putting, all of a sudden now, it would just be night and day difference as far as that goes.
Yeah, I wish him all the luck. I'm worried about the distribution with this, Look at Pandemic and all them, where you couldn't get the game for months and months and months through Z-Man. It's the only thing I'm a little worried about with Plaid, keeping up with the distribution.
Well, I mean, my understanding is that for the ones that are doing really well, I mean, like Den of Winter, it's just like until they basically told the printer, until we tell you differently, just keep printing them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, because it's just, there's no reason for them to stop. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of waxing poetic here a little bit, but I mean, it's just it's where we're going. It's the direction this world. I mean, it's such. I got into the board gaming like 7-8 years ago, and it's a complete. I mean, you expect some change, but this is nothing like it was. I mean, nothing. And and Kickstarter had a lot to do with changing it, and I think Kickstarter had a lot to do with it just because people actually could see that there was money to be made. And I think Aldi said this the other day as well. If people think that they can make some money at it, they'll go and do it. And it's not that, I mean, and I'm sounding kind of cynical here, but I mean, I think people have always had like an idea, for like the people that have always had an idea for a game. Oh, I've always like wanted to make a board game. I really enjoy it, but I've had this idea that I've been rolling around in my head for the last, whatever. And then as soon as they realized that they had this forum, they had this ability, they had this thing to like go out there and do it and maybe make some money doing it, then now that's like the thing that allows them to like get the ball rolling, to start the dominoes falling and stuff like that. As before, there just wasn't really a way to get it started. So I don't know, that's just me though, I guess. Once again, maybe I'm wrong.
Interesting,
Could very well be wrong.
That probably kicked off. I mean, we've only been seeing Asmodee acquiring companies. Right? Am I forgetting something?
Well, I mean, remember,
Zev got acquired like a few years back, right?
Yeah, and that was huge.
And,
I mean, that was really big.
And then it kind of stopped for a while, and then now it's just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Fireworks, right?
Oh, and the thing is that
there was
I don't know.
Mayfair Lookout or whatever, wasn't there, earlier in the year, or was that last year?
Mayfair Lookout, yep.
Yeah.
And some interesting times.
I mean, and here's the other thing. Forrest said this earlier about that Ortus Regni. I mean, does Mayfair is the Catan money just that good for Mayfair? I mean, is it just? I mean, because name me another thing that they make that people buy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There are crickets in the background. And it's funny, like, I wish Mayfair would have come by our booth. They did not sign up. I don't want to say it was their fault or ours. I don't know. They didn't come by with any other new games, which was really unfortunate.
And you know, and the thing is that like they have that little show with the two sheep or whatever, and well, you know, I mean they always okay. First of all, Mayfair they do all these crazy things, and I'm gonna come across as me kind of making fun of it a little bit, but I'm not, because I think they do a good job with the stuff that they do.
Steam is still them, right? Steam.
Steam? What?
I mean,
Yeah,
they still put Steam.
I think they do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But you know, they
not even in the same fucking ballpark as.
No. But I mean, everywhere you go, when you go to the hotel, you get your key, and it's a Mayfair key. You know, it says Catan on it. If you you know, which is cool.
Mine was a pizza.
Yours was a pizza.
Hot box pizza.
Oh, mine. The last like 3 years, it's always been. No, I did not get a hot box.
Which hotel was that?
Mine was well when I like Omni and Weston, those things. It's always been a Mayfair key. They set up that little cart, and they give away free bottles of water in the morning or free coffee. You just walk over, and it's just there. So like start off the day. Mayfair does all kinds of things like that, and it's just like, and you know, those aren't free or whatever. They have a huge footprint that you never see anybody over there, though. You know, they have that giant area. What about that spot that Mayfair has for all the kids' games, like that are just set up to play, but you never see anybody in there playing any games? It's right over by you, Aldi. You know what I'm talking about, right?
That kids fun zone.
Yeah, the kids fun zone. That's
only though?
Well, I think Mayfair sponsors it, if I remember correctly.
They're definitely.
But I mean,
I see their games in there. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but nobody's ever playing them. Yeah, I mean,
it's kid stuff, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, there are kids there. You know, last time I checked. You know, but I mean, nobody's ever in there. You know, I mean, it's weird.
It's
I mean,
not nobody, but it's definitely not as crowded as most places.
Yeah, I just. You know, here you have Mayfair, this huge company, but it's just like it doesn't seem like they do anything other than, you know, sell millions of copies of Catan every year. Apparently, I don't know.
They've just started putting out the Amigo small boxes as well, haven't they? So
I don't know.
Lookout games, you know, all those games are awesome.
Well, I mean, Lookout games. I mean, technically, those are good. Well, Bremerhaven was kind of a piece, but.
Caverna.
Well, Caverna was amazing, and Murano was good.
And Patchwork is awesome.
Well, Patchwork is that took everybody by surprise.
Right, but you know,
and
it's
I guess
like
the other thing
acquisition, right? Like it's kind of like what the Z-Man thing is going on. You know, like you acquire a studio that does great stuff, put it under your umbrella.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I guess it. But I think but like I said, I mean, it's just like Here, and I don't know anything from anything, so do not take this as gospel. But in the next 3 to 4 years, if I had to prognosticate,
Kreskin.
Yeah, my guess.
Kreskin.
Yes. My guess would be that one. At least one, if not multiples of the following publishers will be owned and by a bigger publisher, and that would be like Stronghold, Tasty Minstrel, Portal, and well, until what?
We should do a pool.
Oh, like a Deadpool kind of thing.
Deadpool.
Yeah, and there's one other one that I was thinking of too. That was, you know, it's like a tweener. You know, it's like they're just big enough. You know.
Check.
Yeah, there you go. Check.
Check. Yeah, what about Rio?
Well, Is this the year Jay finally retires? I mean, he's been threatening it for how long?
I walked in the room and he was energetic and full of energy. Everything was awesome in the Rio Grande booth.
Well, I mean, and that's fine. But the thing is, where was it?
It's where it always is. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I know.
floor.
I know where it is, but nobody knows where that room is. I mean, unless you know where it is. I mean, it's like
they give away food. If you want to go eat for free, you can go there all day.
I know, but I know, but nobody knows that. Well, it's full, but it is also like the convention's worst kept secret. I mean, or best kept secret. It's like nobody knows it's there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, wouldn't it make more sense for him to have a booth on the floor and actually sell games and make some money?
He consigns.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. That's just my opinion, I guess. I don't know.
If you want to, I mean, he stopped running the booths long ago. We consigned for him a couple years at us, so.
Yeah.
We didn't do any demoing. We just did sales. We had a couple tables where people could actually just pull the games out and look at them, but it was not anywhere near to the level of what he did before.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, it's like, I guess as long as he can like, like as long as he can print a Dominion expansion, that's like there's no reason for him to retire, because that's
Dominion
like that.
Adventures is pretty good.
What?
Dominion Adventures is pretty good.
I stopped playing after the second expansion, so.
You should check it out.
Why? So I can play another.
It's a different game. I mean, it has different mechanics.
I
know a lot of people have written it off, but I don't think it's still.
I'm done with that. I mean, honestly. I mean, Roll for the Galaxy is an awesome game. I did not expect it to be as good as it was. So kudos to them for that one. So, but.
So who else?
What do you think about Looney Labs? Do you think that they'll ever get bought out?
No. I admire them, and I admire their stick-to-itiveness. But I mean, I don't know. It's just like like the same reason why Steve Jackson Games will never be bought out. Both of those are run by one very charismatic individual, and they have like their one signature thing, that they have going for them.
Right.
And it's easy for them to keep doing that one single thing, and then without ever having to worry about like, who's gonna pay to keep the lights on, kind of thing. I mean, Steve Jackson Games will just pump out more Munchkin every year, and people will buy it every year, and they'll make a ton of money off of it. And that will allow him to do his passion projects like Ogre or like the upcoming Car Wars, and that's that business model right there.
But I don't understand how other companies like Stoneblade and everybody, they'll have expansions come out which can build onto their previous games, but like Looney Labs, they just keep coming with a different style of Flux, and people will just buy it. Like, it's the same game with a different theme, and the cards are worded different, but it's almost like I love Flux. I own a bunch of different copies. I'm one of those people that buys the new ones and everything, but it's just amazing on how people will buy the same game over and over and over and over with a different theme on it.
Well, it's the same thing as Munchkin. I mean,
Monopoly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and kudos to you for being able to enjoy Flux, but I mean, my word.
Try Flux.
I don't know.
Have you tried that? That's pretty fun.
Why would I bother?
What is it?
Flux, the board game.
I did try that. That was awful.
Really?
I will stick with the cards. It was. I really don't have anything to say about it. Really.
I don't know.
The box I actually got, it was a new one, but it looked like it was 30 years old. So.
Maybe got dinged up or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, good for them. They found something that everybody's gonna like, and they just keep smashing it over our heads. So good for you. And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. somebody's buying it, right?
I mean, it's like
Right.
it's like
I mean,
you know,
they've
when
hooked
EA
into it,
bought all
so I don't
those
know why I
video
keep buying
games.
it, but it's just one of those questions that I'm buying it and I'm doing it, and then I ask myself, why am I doing this? And maybe it's because I enjoy, like, their Adventure Time one came out, and I enjoy the show so much that I was like, I want to have that just so I have it because it's Adventure Time. And maybe I buy this in different sets because not everyone's going to be into pirates and want to play Pirate Flex, so they may be into the zombies. Maybe they're not into that. They'll be into Adventure Time. Maybe that's why I buy them, because then I have different for the same game, but I want to play Flux, but I have different themes so it'll fit everybody's genre. Maybe that's what it is. I have no idea.
It's, I don't know. It is what it is, and I hate that saying. I absolutely hate that saying. But I mean, it and at some point they realize that people are going to enjoy that thing that they do, and they and
the video game industry went through a lot of similar things that's happening now.
What was that, Aldi?
I said the video game industry is going through a lot of the same things that's happening now.
Yeah.
In the board game industry. EA acquires a studio every other 6 months.
Right.
Activision.
Well, and I do think, like, at least in the video game world, I mean, it was like you almost got the impression back then, like, studio just came into existence with their hope was that some big guy would notice them and then come up and throw a sack full of cash at them, and then they could make some money.
I mean, if you look at those companies in depth, because I have a whole Twitch channel for video games and stuff, so it's like I follow some of the guys that create these new companies, and the guy that created like Titanfall was one of the original guys that had worked on that's a nice Thor had worked on the original Call of Duty World at War. So I mean, these guys, you see them come from different companies, and they're building new companies out of them, and then they're teaming with their old companies. It's confusing.
Yeah.
It's like they left, and now they're like, oh, let's be partners. But you just left us. What are you talking about?
It's business.
Yeah. John's back.
Or Thor, at least.
Hey, guys.
How about thee?
The only part that I laughed at Thor was when he was walking around and it was like, hammer, hammer. Like, what about your hammer? I know you're looking for it, but they didn't know that's what you were looking for.
I love that.
Do you think Hansenglück will ever get acquired? Like some of these German publishers?
I don't think so. They're too tiny. I mean, and they already have their already have their deal with Rio Grande and other things like that. So, well, they might be Z-Man now, but I don't know.
Pretty big.
Well, Carcassonne's huge, so I mean, there's no reason to leave then, right? Just, I don't know. Carcassonne. I mean, after you played it once, you never want to play it again. So, but.
Oh yeah, but that's geared more for the new gamers, just like Flux and all that. Yeah, they're gateway game. But have any of you guys heard about this Canadian robot that's hitchhiking across the country?
And he got its head ripped off in Philadelphia.
In Philly, yeah.
Yeah, it traveled the world, all through Europe, everywhere. It had gone through all these wonderful things. And it lands in New York, it travels to Boston, it goes a couple other places, it gets to Philadelphia, and as soon as it's there, somebody rips its head off.
Look, if it was wearing a New York Giants uniform, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
They wanted to go to Times Square, right?
I am a Phillies fan Philadelphia Eagles fan through and through. So.
Oh, no.
They suck.
What about those drones that have been getting shot down? The one guy was like, that drone was watching my daughter in the backyard, so I shot it out of the sky.
That's awesome. I support that. There shouldn't be drones flying over civilian population. Shoot it down.
That's hardcore. That's what that is. But they say there's drones. There's that not I don't want to go aluminum hat now, but I mean, yeah, they say that we are that the government has drones that are pretty much they're a visible radar because they're too small. They're next to they mostly just glide. They hardly use any energy, and they monitor us all the time.
Yeah, it's called this.
What?
There's not a whole lot of mystery about.
Well, yeah, I mean that too. But hey, mine has the option of turning off the GPS. Like, yeah, whatever. if you actually believe that,
that'll work.
Yeah.
Avengers didn't make it up. Avengers didn't make it up. They can see through your camera anytime they want.
Oh.
1984, man. It's 1984.
They can see through my camera, huh? Okay, hold on. Here you go, guys. Enjoy.
How you like that?
Did you?
Is that how you
see
stick
the,
it to the
Deadpool
man?
trailer?
What was that? What was that, buddy?
Did you see the Deadpool trailer?
I did. It was over the top, but
Trailers.
it was over the top, but it was exactly what it was supposed to be. So, as long as Robin, to answer your question, because you can't apparently say it out loud, you have to type it. I always wonder why you don't just say these questions out loud in chat.
Drones, and then I talk over you, and I get told off for talking over you.
Well, then that's your job because you talk funny, and we get to tell you off.
So my
As
question
long
was,
as
who's buying AEG?
here's the weird thing about AEG, right? So people keep telling me all the time that the Legend of the Five Rings, like that card game, is like so huge, and like there's just millions of players, and people just go crazy about it.
Really?
I haven't met one.
Yeah.
I've never met anybody that's just like, oh, I'm a huge Legend of the Five Rings card game player. I've never met a single one. What?
Currently, Scott Knight worked on. I was pretty proud of him.
Well, what are they really known for other than Love Letter? I mean,
well, AEG had. I mean, they were a big player in the board game world for a while there. I mean, they actually had one of the best games that it makes me. One, I'm annoyed that I traded away my copy, and two, I'm sincerely annoyed they never reprinted it. But they had a game called Tomb back in 2008. There was just a.
There is
Tomb
supposed to be a reprint coming.
Well, they've been saying that for a while now, but Tomb was a great game. It was so much fun, and yeah, just Tomb was one of the few things I ever did a written review for way back in the day. So, oh, there's my written review. Oh, look at that, it still exists.
Posted on BGG.
Yeah, where else would it be?
So Aldi, if back when you were doing the mail-in games thing, could you imagine the state of the hobby being where it is now? Back then,
Back when I was doing what?
the mail-in, the mail order games with your secret list.
Through Adam Spielt
Yeah.
and Fun Again. Of course not. It's crazy how much it's changed.
Hey, you know what's crazy?
There was no information on the internet. There was like 4 blogs total. Now, I see hundreds of blogs and hundreds of podcasters and hundreds of videos.
Oh, it's crazy the number of people out there doing. No, the number of people out there that are doing board game media and stuff now. It's just nuts how many people there are now.
Yeah, we're getting ready to get into live streaming. I know some people live stream their gameplays and stuff, but my Twitch account is about to merge into the tabletop instead of just the video gaming, because now we can do gaming talk shows through Twitch, and I've already got all the equipment to do it. But it's starting to leak over into Twitch now too.
Yeah,
I've looked into the Twitch thing, and God, I don't know. I start looking into it, and I start trying to figure it out, and I'm just like, no thanks.
Yeah, you got to run. But depending on what your setup is, you got to run certain programs like OBS. I use for my Xbox 360 and Xbox One, I use an Elgato HD60 which is a capture card for when I do that. But OBS lets me do anything I want. Like I was gonna live stream when we were playing on Roll20. Is it Roll20.net?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we were gonna live stream that. But the GM that I was running the thing. He did not want to do it, so that got shot down.
Yeah, it just sounds like a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the money and equipment as well.
Yeah.
Spend a lot of money. You
I
can try
looked into
capture
it.
if you really want to do it.
And you gotta watch YouTube with them live stream things. I was playing around with it. It knocked out my chat the next time last week when I did the album, and I couldn't change it while it was live. So you gotta watch the settings when you do that too.
Well, we're gonna do for Extra Life last year. For Extra Life, I did 24 hours straight of D&D with me and my gaming group, and we live streamed it. And really, really basic, extremely basic live stream. I mean, just like, set up a camera and just pointed it at the table, and then people got to listen to us talk and whatever. And I'm sure nobody watched it, honestly, but we just did it just for fun. And this year for the same deal for Extra Life, we're gonna actually pick like 12 games that theoretically each one will take about 2 hours. We're gonna play 12 board games, and we're gonna figure out how to live stream that as well. So, but I'm not gonna go out and buy a bunch of equipment and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you could do it with one camera and a laptop.
Well, and the thing is that okay, it's kind of neat and it's kind of cool, but I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't want to watch another person play a board game. I mean, it's just kind of like, it's just, I don't know. It's like, oh my gosh, do you see he moved the red pawn? Oh, neat.
Some people do. This is like their sports for them.
But wouldn't you rather be playing the game? I mean, honestly, I would.
Some people don't have the opportunity to play.
Yeah, some people are in Estonia, like Robin. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, it's just like...
It's like some people who don't get the chance to go to GenCon. They sit and watch the live stream for 8 hours a day.
You got to get what you're passionate about, though, Lance, right? I mean, you got to feel like something you do, something that you're going to put your effort into is something you would watch, right?
Well, that's fine, but I mean, I don't know.
It's like whatever.
Yeah, I say lately most of my live streams, and most of it's just video games for right now, but like Destiny, I found a bunch of glitches where you can like go into the map and like do all this stuff where you don't really gain anything, but people will watch the video because they're like, oh, I want to do that, and I find broken codes inside the games. And
Tim, are you married?
I'm not on paper, but pretty much, yeah. I got 2 kids.
All right. So you're a dad, right?
Yeah.
Where do you find the time for this stuff? Are you like independently wealthy and don't have to work?
No. I mean, I ask Anna the same thing about your reviews. How do you do reviews so quickly and put out so much stuff that's good content and it's consistent? And it's...
Well, because I'm amazing.
Usually
no sleep.
Because
no sleep is my big thing.
Well, that's going to be my answer because I'm usually live streaming. I actually had it scheduled to where Tuesday through Friday I would stream from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. So
yeah, you're going to burn yourself. I talked to a couple guys. This one guy was doing like daily content. And you're going to burn yourself out doing that.
Yeah, well, I started realizing that it wasn't worth my time to put it into Twitch for video gaming because there's so many people doing it already. So that's why we were going to try to live stream.
Craig, I don't want to tell you what to do, Tim, but I mean, and this is just, and I'll let John say his comment here, and I don't want to talk over you, but I think a lot of it for me is that is the reasons why, and I'm not saying this is you, so please don't take it like so, but there were a lot of people. And a lot of people I've met, fairly recently in the last 6 months that are doing board game media, is that there's this preponderance of I'm going to sub-reference again here in just a little bit, so I apologize for that. But John, write down what you're going to say, because I want to make sure we get back to it. Okay, write it down so you don't forget. But people, there's this weird preponderance of people that like they're wondering, why haven't I been noticed yet, or why don't I have a following, or why don't I have this or that or the other thing? Why haven't I turned this into something that I can use as a side income, or all these things, right? And I think the deal is that when I got into doing what I did, one, I'm exceedingly lucky that I started it as early as I did. I did it when there was like 4 or 5 people total maybe doing video reviews when I started doing them. And so, there was an audience out there that had a voracious appetite for the media that those people we produced, and they were very happy to have it created. And so and if I started doing what I do now, I would have 1/100th of the people that follow me, and so I'm very lucky in that regard. But the big thing that really helped me was that I did it. I didn't do it to make money. I didn't do it for whatever fame or whatever that comes from doing what I do. I didn't do it for free games. I did it because it was fun, and because I was a person that I had a fiance, I had a 4-month-old daughter, and I had no time to actually have people come over to my house and play games. And so I wanted to do something with games because I thought about them constantly. And so, nice, John. And so the problem is, and then like Tim, you said something. You're like, well, there's so many people out there that do it already. I'm not getting anything what I want out of it. And I'm not saying what you want out of it is wrong. I'm just like, I guess I just wish that people were wanting to do the content, were wanting to do the reviews, were wanting to do it because it was fun for them, and because they were doing what they enjoyed. And I guess I've always felt that if you just go out there and if you're doing something you like, and if you're doing something that you get pleasure from, that energy and that exuberance is going to flow into your product, and people are going to notice that, and people are going to latch onto that. I think Forrest is a perfect example. Forrest Bauer, who was just on. I mean, he is like one of the most energetic guys ever on camera. I mean, is it a little bit faked? Maybe, but I mean, the guy's like out there, and he's throwing it in there, and he's trying to make a name for himself. And I think he's done a pretty good job with it. And I guess there's just too many people.
In the podcasting world, the heavy cardboard guys have done a pretty similar thing. It's their enthusiasm for what they're doing, and the fact that they latched onto something which wasn't available anywhere else, which was specifically focused on Euro games within the American kind of market, from the Americans' perspective, as it were. Whereas, you've got the Dice Town, whatever they do, but they're very, very broad. The heavy cardboard guys, they are purely Euro, and have, you can tell when they're doing it, the time and the effort they put in. It shows that they love what they're doing, and it's reflected in their numbers, and how popular they've become very, very quickly over 2 years.
No, and I apologize if you think that's an attack on you, Tim. It isn't, and I realize what you could probably construe it as like that. So please don't take it like that. I think I watch what you do, and I've seen it, and I think you do a good job. But I think the weird thing is that I think the time of people being able to create a big name for themselves right now in board game media, which is even ridiculous for me even to say, like creating a big name for yourself in this weird little niche hobby that's like so tiny anyway. I think that's over and done with. I mean, it's just like and I think the greatest thing that anybody can do is not worry about how many subscribers they have, and not worry about how many views their stuff gets, and I'm not totally immune to it. Every once in a while, I'm like annoyed by it, and like, oh, I wish I could do this, that, or the other thing, or whatever. But it's just like, I don't know, do it for fun. And I said this repeatedly. The moment that this isn't fun anymore is the moment I'm out of here. And the vacuum that I leave will exist for about like a nanosecond before the other thousands of people now, or whatever the number is, that are doing video reviews and things like that will absorb that spot, and then I'll just be a very, very, very tiny footnote for in the board game world.
So. You know, and we've talked about that when we've talked about not worrying about our numbers anymore, and when I stream video games, I'm just streaming to be streaming. I don't stream on a schedule anymore. I'm not trying to push it out there. Like, I've got 11 followers, which is fine with me, you know, and I have people watch me every once in a while, and you know, I started doing it for the fun, and I think that's where I was going with the story eventually, but yeah, all the information that you're telling me is good information and everything, and that's why I'm trying to go back to the tabletop stuff, because it was more productive. I was having more fun with it instead of trying to do anything with live streaming, because now it's just as far as video games, now that the Xbox and the PlayStation are now equipped with the technology inside them.
Yep.
Everyone can do it now. So it's easier for you to do the tabletop stuff than it is for me to do the video gaming stuff.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't have the faintest clue on how to do the video game stuff, nor would anybody want to watch my fumblings at trying to play Witcher 3. So, I mean, I don't know. But I mean, you know, one last footnote, and then I'm going to let John say his thing. There is a board game media group, person, whatever, that I think puts together very, very good videos, and I think they do a very good job. But the person has kind of an acerbic and kind of antisocial attitude about what they do.
Did you say he had cervix?
Yes, exactly, and they
that's that word.
and they their interactions with other people tend to be very negative, and tend to be, and there's a lot of things where they'll say something along the lines of, I worked X number of hours on this particular video and I get 300 views on it over a month, but you know, Tom Vassell, and this is not verbatim, but this is just something like a paraphrase. Tom Vassell puts together a 2-minute video on how to put his cards for a game away, and it gets 11,000 views in 3 hours. You know, how fair is that, or something like that? And it's just like, I don't know, you know, and it's just like, and things like that, and it's just like, and you realize that that's all they care about. They care about, why don't I have this many views? Why am I not popular? Why am I not amazing? Why are not like publishers like beating down my door with free games? You know, and it's just, and the thing is that I've never, ever had any interactions with this group or with these people in any way, shape, or form. I saw them at the Yellow Party at GenCon, and I have there was a free bar there, like free drinks. Just go up and, you know, there was free food, free drinks, and there was a swag bag they were giving away, and I had never seen people more gloomy and despondent and just so incredibly annoyed that they were even like existing at that spot. I mean, it was just like, and I was like, well, I mean, it's just the way they are. I mean, maybe it was a bad day or anything like that, but I mean, it was just like, you know, it's, wow, it's like your persona online is also in real life too. There's just nothing about this is making you happy. You should be so pleased that you got an invite to this party, and you're like gonna see that you rub shoulders with these people, and they just didn't. It wasn't enough. You know, it just, yeah, and I was just like, wow, and I was for a half a second I thought about going over and introducing myself, and I was just like, no, I'm not gonna bother. I don't even want to talk to you.
Oh,
And
that was a thing that when I got the invite, I was so excited about it. I wanted to get everyone that was part of my group in on it, and then when I went to the invite, it was like you can only allow 3 people, and I was like, okay. So I emailed Keith. I was like, hey, is there any way we can work out something? And he's like, okay, you can bring that many people, but. And then I had I had rules for my group because we were going to be like 10% of the whole room. And I was like, okay, yeah, we can comply with that. And it ended up not being as many as it was. It was only like 5 when it was all said and done once we all got there. But
well, and let's be completely fair. Would they have would they know? I mean, would they have any clue? Would they have any idea if you walked in with 80 of your friends? I mean, it wasn't like they were taking tickets at the door. It wasn't like they were like really like keeping people out. I mean, obviously, yeah. And it was just I mean, obviously it's common courtesy, but I mean, I don't know. So, and for those of you who are guessing, yes, you are correct, Barry. But anyway, so, and it was just like, but regardless, John, you've waited very patiently. What was your comment? I can't read it. You're not talking.
Hold it up.
Hi, Scott.
I'm John.
I forgot just to say hi to you yet, Scott. It's been like 2 hours. And then...
Oh, we didn't say hi earlier?
No, it's soon.
Sorry.
Hi, Scott. And then, hi, Tim. I'm John.
Hi, John. I'm Tim.
Nice to meet you. And then Robin's not here, but hi.
No, I'm here. I'm just hidden.
Oh, okay. Hi, Robin. I'm John.
So, John, what's the deal with Entrepreneur's Alley now? Like, you were in Entrepreneur's Alley, right?
Yes, sir.
So what's the story? Like, what's the story about coming back?
Hey, just so you guys know, I'm wrapping this up before 1 o'clock my time.
Oh, yeah,
I still have a video to do, so I need to get to bed. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they the entire con's so busy and overbooked, and in our humble opinion, over in Entrepreneur's Alley, there are some motherload companies who seriously do not need that much booth space, just to let people play Catan or whatever it is. But we're on a no rebook list, so unless you have at least 30 priority points, which are nigh impossible to get, especially as a small publisher, because the way to get priority points is to give away thousands of dollars worth of swag to the volunteers of Gen Con, and then you get like 1 priority point for it. That's a really not awesome system, because we're on
a waiting list, or is that
we're all gonna end up on a waiting list, or I guess whoever wants to. Though I did hear that they're going to be doing a lot of head chopping. That Gen Con's going to be cutting a lot of people off, telling them that they can't come back next year. I don't know how they're deciding who that is, because if you pay for a booth space, you pay for a booth space. I mean, they're making the same amount of money on each of us. If I lose money, but I keep showing up, they're still making the same money for me. So I don't know how they're choosing whose heads to chop off.
Yeah, it's not like they profit from your success.
Exactly. So I don't know what the plan is there, but I'm on a wait list, or I get to be on a wait list when they contact me in like 3 weeks, and then I don't know how they're going to choose from there. I don't know if they're going to choose they pretend it's random. But if I were Gen Con, I would say it's random, but then not make it random. I'd be like, it's random. But those guys were douchebags, so we randomly, accidentally didn't invite them. And then so-and-so was super cool, and, they were really cool in all the emails, and they followed all the rules, and blah, 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 so we're going to invite them back. I don't know how they're going to end up doing it. But, yeah, wait list, no rebook. No rebook. I tried. I went over knowing that I couldn't, to try it anyway, be like, hey, could I? In case
the rebook thing wasn't in my packet, right?
What's that?
They put it in your packet if you're allowed to rebook.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm hoping, pray for the best. It's going to be what it's going to be. It'd be a crying shame if I mean, I don't know what Gatekeeper Games is going to be in 11 months. Our first products are hitting retail. The game's amazing. I mean, obviously I believe that, but everybody I've had review it, Lance and Forrest and everybody else, and there's like 9 others that are lined up right now, have loved it. And that's, I don't know, as far as I understand, that's the way to get things to move in the market, is to get people to know about it with positive reviews from professional reviewers and blah, 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 blah. Beyond that, it's all word of mouth. But, I mean, I have no idea what I'm going to be next year. So there's two things on that. It's like, one, well, I'm going to get on the wait list. If they offer it to me, I'm going to pay them. But am I going to still be a viable company in 10 months? I'm not going to pretend that I know the future, that like I'm so perfect that I'm definitely going to be there. You know what I mean? And then if we are a viable company, if we are like, if it does become the smash hit that everybody wants to get their hands on, then, and we don't get a booth by random selection, then it's like, well, that sucks. Like, now we're not able to offer our presence to, you know, and our products to the Gen Con attendees, because, so, I don't know, it's a weird thing, I'm in a weird situation, a weird position to be at, and to be looking forward to next year, knowing so little about what's going to happen at this point. So, I mean, I think you guys know me well enough to know that I'm going to fight the good fight the whole time for moving the product and, you know, and getting the word out and, you know, sharing the good news or whatever. But, again, there's so much that's out of my control. A lot of divine providence and then a lot of random selection at the same time. So, I don't know. It's my long answer.
Have you thought about other cons like PAX or Origins, or is this like the con for you?
I mean, that's certainly the con. I mean, we more than broke even, as I mentioned earlier. We're finally out of the red, which is amazing. It's a really good feeling to be able to pull something that looks like a paycheck. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think I mentioned it maybe last week or the week before when we were chatting here. The hardest thing for me about this whole thing is that I do everything I do for God and family, and people are going to do or believe whatever they feel about God, and that's fine. And some would say it's irrelevant to Gen Con to a certain degree, I guess you could say, in that certain sense. Sure, but the second part is family. So I do what I do for my family, which then makes designing games awesome because I can do it from home. It makes publishing games awesome because I can do it from home. It makes Kickstarter awesome because I can do it from home. And it makes conventions terrifying because I have to travel X number of times a year for a weekend or a week in order to peddle my wares around the country, which is an awesome system of doing things. But for somebody who's like, I paid, you know, $500-600 extra in order to get my wife there for the week, because there's no way that I wanted to be without my wife and baby. So the answer to the question is I'm all about, you know, PAX or Grand Con or BGG Con or what have you. It's the being away from my family that's terrifying, and then dragging them along is exciting, and they're like up for it because in a positive way they're not doing anything else because the goal is stay-at-home mom. But it is, I mean, many of you guys have children, like it is such a project to travel with your whole family and try to make that work and stuff. So again, that's my long answer as far as the other cons go. Is I would love to, but it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, it's tough being an indie.
Do you think this is a
an indie?
An indie. Yeah.
Do you think this is Gen Con's way of pulling back the reins? You know, do you think they'll start capping the attendance and all that next, or?
No way. Kidding?
Yeah, no, not yet. I think we're at least 20,000 out from attendance cap. Or at least 10. I would say 70 would be the soonest they'd start capping it.
So what was their
what was the total? It was like 61.5 or something.
61.5.
Yeah, it was lower than I thought it would be.
What was do you know what turnstile was?
No.
No.
Scott, I don't know if you know, but you're a little hard to hear whenever you talk.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. Got some weird things going on tonight.
Cool.
Let me see. My PC may be doing something. Not that it matters now at the end of a 4-hour show.
I just want to say thank you to John for subscribing to my YouTube channel.
Oh, I was just typing my response. Yeah, sure. You know, it's a cool opportunity to get to meet new people. So I've heard about you guys. I've heard your name, Geeked Out Gaming and stuff before. But as Lance was saying, nothing personal. Like he said last week, he doesn't have a chance to really watch any reviews and stuff like that. So just trying to get around to all of you guys takes a while. So we'll chat sometime.
Yeah, that's cool.
What's this Squatch is saying in the chat room there? What's up with Peaches?
It's Peaches upset. Hey, Joel's here. Joel doesn't like joining us though. Hi, Joel. I love you.
Well.
He's too cool for school. He won't be on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Joel, for sitting on our Kickstarter advice panels. Live at Gen Con, the standing room only. It was another great success, so it was actually really cool.
Did it get videoed?
No, I remember when I got into those.
Did it get videotaped?
Yeah, I taped it. My camera sucks and kept turning off for no reason. But Joel taped it too, so hopefully he's going to turn it into something and post it. The one that he was on, the first one was pretty good. It was okay. And then the second one that Joel was on was surprisingly way better because the first one they moved our room like 2 rooms down in the West End, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, where is it?" And then the second one they moved not only to not just move the room, they moved the hotel. So they moved us 4.5 blocks down to Embassy Suites, which if you've ever tried to find it's literally you're walking down the street with all these small stores and restaurants that have these huge banners and signs out on the street, and then there's like Embassy Suites that could buy the city block, and it's like this sketchy little cave. You have to walk up this ramp, and seriously, it's 4-minute walk up this ramp before you find a sign for Embassy Suites. You just have to trust you're going in the right spot. It's really weird. It's really weird. But even over at this other hotel that's next to impossible to find, we had more attendees. It was awesome, and then everybody showed up. We had a panel of 7 or 8 people that were on it. It was a huge success, and that's the one Joel taped. So
hope to see it.
Yeah, that sounds like it would have been a lot of fun.
Oh, Lance, we've already talked about it. Don't be sore. Oh no, Joel is saying that his sound was 100% garbled. That's no good.
That's karma for you.
Alright, guys. I think we're done, right?
Yeah, I have to, like I said, I got a video. Thankfully, I'm about 2/3 through, so I got to finish off some gameplay portions, and then I get to render and take a little nap while that renders, then wake up and upload, and so. But no, I mean, this was fun. We had more viewers tonight than we normally do, which is pretty cool. Maybe.
Hi,
yeah, hello everybody. So, for those of you who watched us live, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to do so. I realize that.
I never actually got to talk about this, so if you want to read it, you can.
What is it?
It's my actual comment during that time.
What was your actual comment? Say it. Say it.
It was about watching other people play video games. I'm just going to read what I wrote. I don't get it. I haven't enjoyed watching other people play games since I was 8. It's such a phenomenal waste of time. Go volunteer at a food bank or something, for goodness sake. There are a lot of ways to waste time. Playing video games, at least, it's a total waste of time, but at least I'm doing something. Watching somebody else play video games, it's like, oh my gosh, go start a business or something.
Go buy another pair of Birkenstocks, you hippie.
Wait, I don't even know if you're suggesting another good option for them or if you're insulting me. I'm honestly not sure.
I don't know. I'm channeling Travis. I'm throwing together a pop culture reference and a semi attack upon your person for humorous intent. So.
Oh, all right. Well, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Yeah. As always, thank you to the loyal fan that listened to us or watched this for the entire time.
2. Way more than that. We must have at least 2.
For those of you who tune in and watch this later, definitely I appreciate that as well. For those of you who ask for me why I haven't ripped these to audio files and then turned them into podcasts and what have you, I don't have a good answer for you other than the fact that I just do not have time to do so. So if and I keep telling Barry he needs to do it because he's got nothing better to do. So
Shouldn't be that hard.
But I also would like to thank Barry for running the Alaboom in my absence while we were at GenCon.
I watched it actually. I was there. I was watching it while I was working in my hotel room.
It was a little painful. Sorry about that, guys.
It was good. It was cool.
No, thank you very much for doing that. So we didn't miss a week. I really appreciate that. So yes, Barry, there you go. If you want to prove your love for me and prove our friendship is real, then you can look into ripping the audio and turning it into podcast form or something. And
I don't like it that much.
What? Oh.
I'll try. It's going to be that hard. Should be able to just download it and then rip it out of the video.
All right. Well, Tim, thanks for taking the time to be on.
Yeah, definitely.
For you. Hope I didn't keep you up too late. Tim, tell us if somebody wants to go check out your stuff, where should they go?
You can go to geekedupgaming.weebly.com. That's got all the links to my Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest, Facebook, all that stuff. Top right-hand corner of the webpage.
And you can go and subscribe like I did.
Real quick, can I do my giveaway spiel that I'm doing right now?
No. All right, so moving on. Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
All right, so anybody that subscribes to our channel at youtube.com/geekedupgaming and then the number 1, so don't spell out 1 on the end of it, it's just the number. We're giving away a copy of Nevermore from Smirk and Dagger. Kurt was actually gave me an extra copy, so I'm paying it forward because 2 of my cards were actually messed up, but not enough to where I couldn't play the game. So I just want to give away a copy.
Okay, so wait. Did I subscribe too early? Because I can go unsubscribe every 2 days.
No, anyone that's subscribed now all the way up until Friday, I think we're going to go until Friday at noon. So Friday till noon is the cutoff, and then we're going to do a live stream Saturday for the giveaway.
Very cool.
If I win, draw another name.
I'll do that.
I'm in. I'm on. I just subscribed.
Awesome.
You need to win a game, Scott.
That's what I said. I said if I win, draw another game, draw another person.
Yeah, well, there's this website that does it. It's like randompicker.com or something, so I don't know how it works yet, but we'll see.
I'm sure you'll figure it out between
Are you going to randomly select it like Gen Con randomly selects it? You're just actually going to pick the person?
I actually just pick somebody I like. Yep, that's how it works.
Yeah. And the winner is me. Thank you.
Okay. Give myself a game.
Yeah. John, if somebody wanted to track you down, I guess you have a game or something that's going to be in stores sometime soon.
Yeah, we have a street date, March 17th. So tell your FLGS that you want the King's Armory.
Wait, time out. March 17th?
Did I say March?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm still on Gen Con time, where it's like 2 in the morning right now. What month are we in? August. August 17th. Gosh, could you imagine? That'd be horrible. Yeah, August 17th is our street date. I don't know if that's worldwide, but we have 2 viewers, so they're probably both in the U.S. right now.
All right, very cool.
Yeah, and then, yeah, that's it. So, Twitter.
Well, thanks for coming on. Robin, you got anything to say?
Nope, not really. Thanks for watching. Hopefully our website will be back online, or should be fully functioning again now. We got hacked 4 times whilst I was on vacation. So who on earth wants to hack a board game site that's as small as ours? I have no idea.
Yeah,
they did.
well, I was upset because you weren't around. Scott, you have a website or something, don't you?
Yeah, it's called BoardGameGeek.com. Eric is putting up his real preview on next week sometime. I don't know.
Is that
we need like 8,000 more games to cover in 10 weeks.
Is that a new site? Is that something you more?
It's something coming. We just launched it. We're launching a new design too. Because I need more stuff to do. So,
well, I don't know. I do like this 1980s spreadsheet look. That seems pretty cutting edge.
The internet wasn't around in the 1980s, right?
in your 1980s, maybe.
They had spreadsheets, but they were on the table.
When I was in the 1980s, I had a 300 baud modem.
Do you have a street date for the new design?
Yeah, we actually opened it up today for a beta test, so sign up if you want to check it out.
Okay, we'll do.
It's on the front page, top, upper left corner. Yeah, I think we're going to get like 500 people signed up, so I don't know how I'm going to manage that, but I'll figure out a way.
All right, then.
And already got the negativity going, so I'm going to have to turn off my, what did I call it, cognitive distortions, and make sure the world is not all negative. Right?
All right. Well,
now that I know that's a thing, I can say, yeah, cognitive distortions. That's what I'm suffering from. But whatever, get over it.
Indeed.
Yeah,
all right. Well, thanks a lot. God, what?
Wait, what?
I'm gonna find out who was playing with that stupid toy or whatever it was too. What was it?
It was Travis. His video popped up every time that sound went off.
Gotta go punch him in the nose.
He was laughing. It was him, of course.
Whatever. All right. So yeah, thanks for being on. For those of you who listened, thank you very much. For those of you who listen later, thank you again. And I'll just. Yeah, very nice, Thor. That's a good way to end it, if anything. So, good night.
Cool. Bye.